15 months ago on January 2nd of 2020, two guys had an idea to bring professional football back to San Antonio, and you are looking live at their efforts and the efforts of many other folks as we go live with the first game of the American Arena League's San Antonio Gunslingers. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. My name is Philip Higginbotham. I will be with you tonight, and I'm joined in the booth by my partner, Leo Yamas. Leo, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Philip. I am excited and eager to see the final product on the field as we've been following these guys since the very beginning, and ready to go as they are to finally see some AAL football in San Antonio.
The San Antonio Gunslingers are opening up their first season tonight, playing their inaugural game against the North Texas Bulls out of Fort Worth. Leo, we've talked on our show, our podcast, a lot about this game, but that doesn't mean everybody watching has listened. So let's talk briefly about what we expect from the visiting team coming in tonight. We don't know a ton about them. We can see numbers on a roster, but there is no film. Both teams are starting their very first game here tonight. So based on just raw data that we have right now, what are you seeing?
Well, they have that question. They say, where's the beef?
Right.
The North Texas Bulls have found the beef.
They have.
I want to say, because they have some big boys, some big old dudes on those offensive and defensive fronts. They have quite a bit of size, and they've got an experienced quarterback that's going to be back there behind that offensive line. So I think it's going to be a challenge for the San Antonio Gunslingers to get some pressure on the quarterback. They're going to have to do that in order to be successful today.
That offensive line is going to be anchored by Devonta Abram. He is out of Texas Christian University, spent some time playing there. He is 6'8", and listed at 350 pounds, but I got to tell you, I think they rounded, and I'm not sure they didn't round down a little bit when it comes to Abram.
He is all of that, and I agree, probably a little bit more. That is a mountain of a man, and whoever's lined up against him is going to have their work cut out for him today.
He will be a force to be reckoned with there on the offensive line. Their quarterback position, an interesting story here.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about their quarterback.
Well, he has been around he was an undrafted free agent signing of the Tennessee Titans. He is 40 years old, so he does have quite a bit of experience. He's been around, played some in the Canadian Football League, a lot in the Arena League, has quite a resume under his belt, has thrown for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, and he's a big guy himself. So he was actually one of those stories that we saw was that he was a stunt double for The Rock in a movie.
In Game Plan, he actually did some stunt work for standing in for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. His name is Jonathan Kent.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Jonathan Kent Jr. Robert Kent Jr.
Robert Kent.
Robert Kent Jr. He was an undrafted free agent for the Tennessee Titans 17 years ago. So he's been playing professional football for 17 years. He has played a majority of that in indoor football situations. So he is familiar. He is a true veteran on the field tonight for the North Texas Bulls. Robert Kent, this is not the first time he's played indoor football in the San Antonio area.
No, he was with the Talons for a stint when the Talons were here in San Antonio. That's right.
In fact, he started a game for the San Antonio Talons back in 2013. So that's the North Texas Bulls side of the line. Let's talk a little bit about the San Antonio Gunslingers and what we expect to see from them tonight. What are you excited about seeing tonight from the Gunslingers?
On the Gunslingers offense, I'm really excited to see one of their wide receivers, 6'1", 220, Joey Fisher, number 88. He's big, he's fast, he's got great hands, he's very physical. And we all know that arena football is a game of speed, and he's got plenty of that. And I'm excited to see what he does out there catching balls from starting quarterback David Oliveira on offense.
David Oliveira will be starting number 18. He has played quarterback here in the San Antonio area, Medina Valley High School, 6'1", 185. Smaller on the side of a quarterback, but mobile, makes good decisions. He won that job just about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, battling Nate Mace, a gentleman that came down from Tacoma, Washington. And those are the two quarterbacks. David Oliveira going to be the starter tonight here for the San Antonio Gunslingers. On the defensive side of the ball, linebacking core that is really impressive.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of speed and physicality in the middle of the field there. I expect that they're going to get tested early by the Bulls offense, but I don't think that they're going to get tested often after they see just exactly how much speed and physicality they have in there with Pierre Turner and Cody Brooks, JB Williams, those guys. We've got the San Antonio Gunslingers have a lot of physical speed, smart players in the middle of the field there.
Well, we're going to take a break here as we continue on with the pregame. We're going to go to take a break real quickly. We'll be back in a few minutes. You're watching San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day Football. We will be right back after this break. Pavement marking needs. They provide high-end parking lot striping and parking lot marking services in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. G-Force is the #1 parking lot striping and pavement marking business in San Antonio. If you're ready to see results, get in touch with their team today by calling 210-710-1016. Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Admiral Security. Admiral is San Antonio's premier authorized ADT dealer, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands and protecting what matters most all across San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Admiral has a special offer for all you Gunslingers fans. Give them a call today for more information. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by Moonlight Ballroom. Moonlight Ballroom is San Antonio's #1 event venue and party destination. Moonlight Ballroom is all-inclusive and offers any and all services for your event needs with party packages available. Weddings, quinceañeras, holiday parties, and more, you name it, they offer it. Give them a call today at 210-549-4180. Make sure to mention the San Antonio Gunslingers for a promotional discount. So welcome back here into the San Antonio Rose Palace as we prepare for player introductions, the national anthem, a real live football game, Leo. There's no more talk. There will be more talk. There will be lots of talk about what goes on tonight, but an opening game for both teams, an opening game for all of the things that you see in front of you. This is the first time for the football team, both football teams. This is the first time our broadcast crew has stepped into the booth. There are lots of things that are first times.
A lot of firsts
tonight. So we promise we will bring you as much of the action as we physically can. We will do our best to limit any and all mistakes on our side, and the team is doing the same. Both teams are doing the same on their side. Bear with us. It is an opening night all the way around. Corona is what it is, and did not allow for any pregame festivities. We had some planned, and those did not happen. So that would have been the test. This is the test now, but it all counts. The North Texas Bulls, San Antonio Gunslingers are getting ready just below us. Fixing to come out of the tunnel. In fact, there the Bulls are taking the field. We're going to let you listen in a little bit, too. the stadium announcer as we go to the San Antonio Gunslingers taking the field as they get introed on the field. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your defensive starting lineup for your San Antonio Gunslingers.
Well, Leo, I did say something about it being the first night for everybody.
Right?
There you go. As you see the first couple of gunslingers filtering there into the tunnel, we will have player introductions for you coming from the stadium announcer here in just a moment.
There's Coach Tony. They're keeping us in suspense here, Philip.
They sure are.
They're waiting for a grand entrance here. We have the Gunslingers dance team out here ready to greet them. The fans are probably up. I think it's starting.
Well, there you are, San Antonio. Your San Antonio Gunslingers take the field, led by a true gunslinger on a horse.
Right.
Where else are you going to see that? You didn't see a bull running out here. I don't want to see a bull running out here leading the North Texas Bull. That's probably a good smart decision on part of the North Texas Bulls. So as we prep, you get a chance to see there the team, white helmets, blue jerseys, blue pants, white socks for the most part. Good looking, clean looking uniforms. I don't think they're going to stay clean here much longer, Leo.
Nope. I would agree. I think they look great, but I'm expecting this to be a rough physical game. It's going to be fast paced. There's going to be a lot of contact. Those white helmets, well, white on white, so it might not be too bad, but we're going to see a lot of hard hitting action tonight.
For sure. So the San Antonio Gunslingers are, of course, 0-0. The North Texas Bulls also 0-0. Season opener for both teams, really franchise opener for both teams.
Yep.
And what is interesting is this is the a lead weekend for the American Arena League. There's one other game going on as we speak. Tampa Bay is hosting Carolina, if I'm not incorrect. I could
Sounds
be
right.
incorrect. But this is one of the premier games of the American Arena League schedule tonight here in the San Antonio Rose Palace.
The inaugural game for the San Antonio Gunslingers, the inaugural game for the North Texas Bulls, the inaugural game for the Western Division of
That's correct.
the American Arena League.
Western Division of the American Arena League will be the North Texas Bulls, the San Antonio Gunslingers, two teams you see before you. They are joined by two other teams. That would be the West Texas Buccaneers,
Yep.
along with the, help me out here, Leo.
Austin Wild.
Austin Wild, who will be in here, back here at the Rose Palace on March 29th. Tickets are already available for that. You can go online to SanAntonioGunslingers.com, purchase your tickets. If you're not here tonight, you don't want to miss this opportunity for pro football in San Antonio. We are a football town. We're a football place. Now, that is not the next game for the Gunslingers. The Gunslingers go on the road next week. They will be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi,
Right.
taking on the Mississippi Raiders on the 20th at 7 p.m. We will have that game for you here on our streaming channels, Twitch, our streaming channel for YouTube, and on Facebook through the San Antonio Gunslingers. All of that action will be visible here. If you're not able to drive out to Hattiesburg, I don't know why you wouldn't. Just jump in the car and take 9 hours to drive out to Hattiesburg and support your San Antonio Gunslingers. But if you're not able to,
It'll be worth it.
we will have the game available for you right here where you're watching this. As pregame festivities continue on, it bears repeating that this is an idea that has been 15 months in the making. It started with a phone call on January 2nd of 2020.
Right.
And two guys said, we want to do something more. They had been involved in semi-pro football around the San Antonio area, just wanted to do more, wanted to bring professional football back to San Antonio. We have had professional teams here in San Antonio. None of those opportunities have worked out to be long-term opportunities.
Right.
So they had a desire to pull together their resources and put a team on the field. And that's what they're seeing right now. They're watching players warm up and prepare for their team. What do you think ownership here in San Antonio, I know what it means as a fan because we're ultimately fans, but what do you think it means for these guys that are, we're seeing a few of them here on the field. Lots of hard work over the last 15 months, lots of hard work over the last 15 days or so to make all of this come together. What would you think is going through their mind right now as they watch a team that was just an idea take the field?
Well, this is the culmination. This moment here is the culmination of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. These guys have put in a lot of work, not only building this team and this organization, but growing roots in the San Antonio culture, growing roots in the neighborhoods and among the businesses here in San Antonio, the organizations here. They've really put in a lot of work to kind of become one with the community. And so this here is, I can only imagine what it feels like for those guys to see it finally happening, become a reality in front of them. I'm sure it's something special.
Coach Tony Hernandez there on your screen as he spent some time with some fans before the game, talking, chatting, ready to coach his game. He's been coaching football here in San Antonio for a while. Tell me about your impressions of Coach Tony Hernandez as you have gotten to know this team and this coach.
Love him. Anybody who gets to know Coach Tony Hernandez loves the guy. Players, they say universally, this is a guy I want to go to war for. And he's just a coach that demands respect from his players. He demands a lot from them, but he also demonstrates that he's willing to give his 100% and then some for each and one of those guys if they're willing to return that. He's kind of built a culture within the team of this is a brotherhood. These guys all feel like they are family, they are brothers, and they're going to war against the Bulls tonight and every other team that they're going up against this season, it's a family of guys out there that are really close knit, and they're just raring to go.
On the opposite side of the field, you have Coach Victor Mann. Spent some time as the head coach of the Cedar Rapid Arena League team. Led them pretty securely into a couple of bids for championships. I believe they may have even won a championship under his time in indoor football there in the Cedar Rapids area. Victor Mann also creating a culture around his team. Lots of hashtags around the North Texas Bulls of Team No Soft. We didn't get a chance to talk to Victor Mann, but that kind of says it all. Team No Soft. It certainly communicates what they're all about with the North Texas Bulls.
Yeah, and you certainly get that impression from him just seeing him when he's around his players and talking to his players. I sense that these two coaches have a lot in common as far as their approach to handling the team and approach to football. I think it's going to be a battle out there of these two guys and their teams. It's going to be fun to watch.
Not just the first game for the for the San Antonio Gunslingers ownership. First game for the North Texas ownership. Probably going through many of the same kind of feelings and emotions as they watch their ideas, their team, their guys take the field. It's really a big moment for the beginnings of two different franchises here on the field tonight.
Absolutely. This is a dream come true for a lot of these guys. For some of them, it's just a stepping stone. For some of them, this is going to be the peak of their career. But either way, tonight is the culmination of everything they've done in their careers up to this point. And I know you could just sense it in the air that these guys are ready to go to war.
I think we're prepping the players and the fans here in the stadium for the national anthem.
Well, they're doing the coin toss.
Coin toss. That's important.
Who gets the ball first?
Looks like San Antonio won the toss, and they elect to receive the first kickoff in San Antonio Gunslingers history. Will fall into the arms of the San Antonio Gunslingers, and they will allow their offense to step on the field first and see if they can score points. If you're unfamiliar with arena football, it is a fast-paced game. There are lots of points on the board by the end of the game. It is not unlikely that we see 70, maybe even 80 points, not all together, but per side. Right, Leo?
Right, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Arena football is fast action, lots of scoring. It's only 50 yards, so it's not uncommon to score in only 1, 2, 3 plays, and that's a long drive in arena football.
As you hear, preparing for the national anthem.
Gunslingers, give it up for Miss Amy Moon.
There is something about the national anthem at the beginning of sporting events that just makes it all feel real. Whether it's a Major League Baseball game or an NFL game or an American Arena League game as we prepare to kick off the very first kickoff in San Antonio Gunslingers history.
That's right, Philip. It's about to get even more real with that kickoff. Was there any were you surprised at all that the Gunslingers decided to take the ball with when they won the toss?
No, not at all. It doesn't surprise me that they want to set a tone and set a tone early. Well, talk is done as the players begin to filter off the field and begin to get set up for American Arena League football in San Antonio. Pro football is back in San Antonio. Just to give people an idea of what Arena League kickoffs look like, Leo. The ball starts, the kickoff occurs from the goal line of the kicking team. They kick it down the field, and it is received and run back. If it is a touch back, it goes to where, Leo? Because this is a shorter field.
It's a shorter field, but I believe it still goes to the 20-yard line. Oh, goes to the 10?
I believe it goes to the 10. Maybe we'll get a chance to see.
Yeah, we'll get to find out.
Each Arena League has slightly different rules, and each year, each Arena League slightly modifies those rules. So we'll get to see some of those things in place here in just a moment. Ball getting teed up down here in the end zone for the North Texas Bulls as they line up and get ready to cover the kick. San Antonio Gunslingers getting set down the field. Returning the kick, it looks like we have... Who have we got down on the other end of the field there?
I can see one of them is Bustamante.
Chris Bustamante on the other side, number 19, and he's not listed on my roster.
Yeah, we got 13 and 19, neither of which are on the roster that we were provided. So,
well, we said something about
Bustamante.
Some hiccups. 13 is Bustamante. He is a fast, quick player. If he gets the ball in his hands.
Oh man, don't blink.
Yeah, for sure.
And here we go.
A little bit of an issue. Chains there. Chains needed to be.
They're just adding to the suspense, Philip.
It is. It's a suspenseful time. Now, the chain gang had chains that were a bit tangled up. Again, first game for everybody, teams, broadcast crew, even officials. This is their first game of the season, so things like a knot in the chains kind of become an issue.
It looks like they've got that figured out now, and they're getting the kicker ready. And we should have some football here any moment now.
Kicking off Ben Hill for the North Texas Bulls, number 35 there. He is their kicker. Hardin-Simmons University. That is in Central Texas. And here we go. Bustamante will return the kick as he makes his way across the field. And he is dragged down just short of the 25-yard line. I'm sorry, the 15-yard line. Even we're going to have to get used to a slightly different field.
Yeah, the size is it's a different game and a different perspective from the booth here, so it's going to take some getting used to. But it's going to be fast action.
First down and 10, 15-yard line for the San Antonio Gunslingers. David Oliveira is your starting quarterback. We'll get around to his weapons after this play. Oliveira hands off, and there's a fumble immediately, and it looks like
he was able to recover it.
not exactly how you want the first play from the line of scrimmage to go.
Maybe some first game jitters. Hopefully that's all it was, and we can shake that off.
Going to be about a 7-yard loss there. It looks like they are back at the 8-yard line, setting up a 2nd and 17 from the 8-yard line. Got a quarterback keeper for David Oliveira.
Looked like it was a handoff to number 10.
Isaiah White.
Isaiah White, yeah.
Takes the handoff, gets about 2, moving him up to the 9-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 15, 16. Pass over the middle is incomplete.
Yeah, a little off
Cameron
target
Johnson
there.
looking for a flag. He's not going to get it. So that will be a 4th down, but that doesn't mean anything in arena football because there is no punting. You can try for a field goal. That will be an awfully long kick right now. Or you simply go for it on 4th down. Looking at a 4th and 15 or so for the San Antonio Gunslingers here on their first drive of the game.
Right, looks like they're going to go for it and try and convert.
And whistles will stop the play.
Yeah, we had a pad fall off of one of the dasher boards right behind the official. He may have been the guilty party of knocking the pad over.
Again, first game jitters for everybody involved.
Key play here, Philip.
Yeah, 4th and 15. You'd like to start off.
Oh.
Got a flag on the field, I believe. Now let's just wait for the referees to tell us what's
Looks like
going
we
on.
have some movement on the right side of the defensive line. I'm not sure if they were drawn offside. Nope, it says offsides.
Offsides on the Bulls.
Bit of a break.
That'll move the ball a little bit for the Gunslingers. Some positive yardage. Something they haven't actually had a chance to get yet. That sets up a 4th and 10 here at the line. Oliveira back. And he finds his receiver downfield, cutting across the field. Got a block all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, number 19.
Just like that, Philip. That is arena football. You find yourself in a position where you're 4th and long, but with a 50-yard field and fast action like that, you end up with a score.
You're never too far away to score a touchdown on any particular play. David Oliveira finds a wide open wide receiver on the right side of the field. He makes his way across the field, picks up a couple of blocks all the way into the end zone, and just like that, the San Antonio Gunslingers have 6 points as they, what do we got going on here?
I'm not sure on this.
We watch the teams get called back toward the original line of scrimmage, and conversations going on with football players and officials and everyone.
We have the Gunsling. Well, they've reversed fields.
Yes, they have. I'm not sure what has happened.
Not sure if this is a 2-point
This
conversion.
may be a 2-point conversion. I believe that's what we're looking at right here. Bustamante attempts to make his way through the line, made it, over to the left, did not find any room, tried to cut back to the right side of the field, swallowed up by the North Texas Bulls there, and it looks like the score will stay 6-0 Gunslingers. But Gunslingers get on the board first here in their Arena League debut.
Yep, just like that, they're on top. That 2-point conversion looked like it was just a busted play. Bustamante went one way, and the entire defense went the same direction. He tried to reverse his field, but there was just no room for him.
There's a point where you're alone against 8 other guys, and that's just not going to work most of the time.
Doesn't matter who you are. No, you're right.
So the San Antonio Gunslingers take a 6-0 lead here in the first quarter. 13:30 or so left in the game. Our time there on the broadcast should be close to accurate. Again, first game jitters for everybody involved, but we are keeping you as close to the action as we can. Well, that's the Gunslingers' first opportunity to score some points, and they cash it in, but they don't get the full 7 or 8 points. Is that a problem for you, Leo?
No, it's not a problem. Coming from 4th and long to having 6 points on the board, I think that's a favorable result.
As the Gunslingers get set to kick off, the North Texas Bulls, Tavis Holland back to receive the kick.
And we'll get to see what the Bulls have on offense now. And we'll get to see what the Gunslingers have on defense. I'm excited to see that. Oh,
a low kick off of the Bulls. Oh, big collision down there. Number 18, LaDon Hudson, ends up with the ball in his hand and makes good out of a play that just seemed a little broken. There from the beginning, the ball was kicked low and kicked into the Bulls players.
hit him in the helmet.
And it's a live ball at that point.
It was, and it could have turned into a positive thing for the Gunslingers, but it certainly didn't there. Some fans on the dasher boards got to see some action right up close, though, and that's one of the nice things about Arena League football.
So the North Texas Bulls will also start on the 15-yard line, and actually the same 15-yard line that the Gunslingers started on in their first possession. Much shorter field for the North Texas Bulls as they line up for their first play. Number 12, Robert Kent Jr., the quarterback of your North Texas Bulls. The wily veteran is setting up his offense. Receivers in motion. Ball snapped, and he is going to just throw it out of the reach of his intended receiver, and that's going to set up a 2nd down and 10. Attempting to get the ball out to Chris Franklin there, and just a little taller than Chris was.
Yeah, the pass was a little tall and a little behind him, so we got a result of the incompletion.
2nd and 10 here at the 15-yard line of the Gunslingers as the North Texas Bulls try to even up the score, maybe even take a lead here. Handoff over the left side. Nice big running back they have here. Meshach Williams is their fullback. He is 6'2", 280. So he's got a lot of beef running through that big line, but he sure didn't make it very far before they wrap him up. Call it a gain of 1?
Yeah, about a gain of 1 yard for the big guy. Jonathan Taylor wasn't having none of that. He
3rd down and 9 from the 14-yard line. Again, remember, 4-down territory all the time. That's going to be a false start on the North Texas Bulls. Receivers getting a start before the ball was snapped. That's going to move them back.
Yep, Bulls right now going the wrong direction. In arena football, the wide receivers do get to go in motion towards the line of scrimmage and get to pass the line of scrimmage as the ball is being snapped, but this time the wide receiver was just a little bit early.
Now they have a 1 to 2 yard kind of cushion there. Very hard to sync up exactly when you're going to run across the line and snap the ball, so they do have a bit of a cushion, but that was actually stationary receivers getting a start before the play ever started. Robert Kent Jr. back to pass. And he's got a receiver out on the right side, but it's not going to be enough to secure that first down. So they are going to go into a 4th down and let's call it 4 situation.
Yeah, he was under some pressure there, but was able to get the ball out, found the open man, but the pass was a little bit low because of the pressure, so it was an easy tackle for the defender.
So here it is, 4th down and 4, a big play, just as big a play for the Gunslingers, but we know how that turned out. You're never out of it in arena football. So as the North Texas Bulls huddle up and get ready to gain 4 yards and keep their drive alive, what do you expect to see there, Leo?
I expect to see a passing play, and I expect to see a blitzing defense from the Gunslingers.
As much as they can blitz.
Right.
You cannot all out go after the quarterback in arena football. You are limited on the amount of blitz pressure that you can put. The linebackers cannot move before the snap of the ball, and only one linebacker can blitz. You can't send 2 or 3 guys that are off the line into the box there.
And that's how they got pressure on the last play, was from the blitz of the linebacker. I expect to see that again this play.
13:20 or so left in the first quarter. Got a play stoppage, it seems like, here on the field as the referees once again make sure they understand exactly what's going on. Like the officials are talking with some fans over there. Might have been a problem with some San Antonio Gunslingers fans already.
We're building a reputation here.
4th and 4. Pass is complete for the first down. I have not seen a signal on.
Looks like he's in the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Well, there you go. The North Texas Bulls even the score for now, 6-6, with a 4th down play of their own. I'm not sure
maybe
they got in the end zone.
Maybe that was a premature celebration from the wide receiver. He ran to the middle of the end zone and spun the ball.
The line judge is marking it at about the 1 yard line. So it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 1 yard line. You would assume that with 4, well,
they're lining
up for the kick. So we're going to call that a touchdown. Kick is up and
low and blocked.
Never up, actually. It didn't get up. It is recovered by the Gunslingers, and they've got an open field coming down the field and into the end zone. Number 7, Darius Banks, defensive back for the Gunslingers, picks up the ball, rushes it back all the way, and scores for the Gunslingers. Referees once again are gathering on the field to make sure they understand what that means. It should be an 2-point swing for the Gunslingers. We should have a score of 8-6 based on what I understand.
Yeah, that kick was low. Hit someone on the line.
The amazing thing about the kick is that it was low, hit somebody, and careens off toward the sideline.
Yeah.
As soon as it touches a dasher board, it is considered out of bounds and the play is dead. But it died right over next to the dasher board, allowing the Gunslingers to pick that up, Darius Banks to pick that up, rush that all the way back.
Right place, right time.
Absolutely. So we see an 8-6 score now, and the Gunslingers get the ball. They have a 2-point lead, and they have the ball. It's a great position to be in here in the first quarter.
Right, Philip. Getting the ball and with the lead, we'll see what the Gunslingers offense can do this second possession.
Still nothing from the officials yet. A ready to play signal popping up now. Number 35, Ben Hill, lines up for his kick. there from the end zone. San Antonio Gunslingers up by 2.
Woo!
And the San Antonio Gunslingers able to grab the ball on the short kick, on the short hop. See some laundry on the field.
There is a flag.
And there's a whole wall on the field because that was a tough hit into the San Antonio Gunslinger bench area, knocking over a fan, it looked like. Hope everybody's okay down there.
That's the risk you take when you sit on those dasherboard seats.
You were right up in the action when you're on the dasherboard seats. It's a great place to sit, but you have to be almost as involved in the game as players are.
You must be alert, that's for sure.
Ball being moved back to the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Looks like that penalty would be something against the San Antonio Gunslingers, but we didn't get any indication as to what that penalty might have been. San Antonio Gunslingers' second drive here in the first quarter. David Olvera sends his receiver into motion, passes across the field, and it is intercepted. Jimmy Kays all the way back down the field and into the end zone? Question mark? No. They are going to mark him short at the 4-yard line as he ran into dasher boards.
He didn't run into the dasher board.
Well, he was knocked into the dasher
knocked
boards.
into that dasher board. Someone on the Gunslingers came flying across.
Things shift so fast in Arena League football. San Antonio Gunslingers a 2-point lead and the ball, and now they are fighting to keep the North Texas Bulls out of the end zone as they line up for a 1st and goal here on the 4-yard line. Quick changes here in arena football.
Don't blink, you're going to miss some action. It is certainly fast-paced and a lot going on. If you're not paying attention, you're going to miss something.
Second drive for the North Texas Bulls. Handoff. Number 17 gets into the end zone. That is Jawan Mangio.
I don't know that he got in.
Jawan Mangio takes the handoff, rushes for and dives for the end zone.
There's a flag on the field as well.
Looks like a hold on the Bulls. That will bump them back a few yards, and we will get a new 1st down and goal 5 yards back, or 10 yards back. It's 5 yards.
A lot of times on a running play, when you're able to go one direction and then completely reverse your field and come across like that, there's going to be a hold to actually open that up for the runner, and I think that's what happened in this case.
For sure, your offensive line and your other offensive mates all think you're going one direction. They're not looking at you. They're looking at the player they are up on, and when he starts to move a direction they don't expect, you grab on to keep them right with you because you don't know what's going on behind you, but you know you don't want to let them do what they want to do. Ball back at the 14-yard line, a 10-yard penalty there for the North Texas Bulls. Robert Kent lines up, drops back, throws deep into the corner of the end zone off the fingertips of his intended receiver. Great play there by the San Antonio Gunslingers defense.
Yeah, the ball was delivered well, I thought, but he was not allowed to get up and make that catch.
It's Darius Banks that broke that pass up, number 7, and that's exactly how you have to play defense on that play. You have to let them touch the ball, and then you have to put a body on them and hope you can knock it away. It's exactly what Darius Banks does, and now we're looking at 2nd down and goal from the 14.
I think we jumped there, Philip.
Some movement by both teams. Let's see who they pin it on. That is going to be a false start on the North Texas Bulls. 5 more yards given up on penalties by the North Texas Bulls. Both teams jumped, but the problem with that is on the defense, you can jump and get back.
Right.
Whereas on the offense, if you move, the play ends in that moment. Now, then there's obviously arguments about I was drawn off sides by the movement of the defense, and those are conversations that are had often on the field between offensive players and referees about being drawn off sides. So now back to the 19-yard line for 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. Goodness gracious, they're moving the wrong direction. 4-down territory because everything is. Receiver in motion. Kent's back. Throwing deep. He's got an open receiver, and he draws the ball in for a touchdown. There is a flag on the field. Personal foul, roughing the passer on the San Antonio Gunslingers. That's going to hurt.
Right. That was a perfectly delivered ball, too, Philip.
It was a beautiful pass. That's what you get with a veteran like Robert Kent. He's played the game for a long time. He knows how to deliver that back shoulder fade. He's done that twice on this drive alone. One of them was caught. One of them was not. Jonathan Taylor, the defensive lineman for the San Antonio Gunslingers, guilty of the roughing the passer. We have an 8-12 score as it stands right now. But who knows what's going to happen? We saw just a routine extra point kick earlier, and that didn't work out.
Yep, the last time they lined up in this situation, it ended up being a positive for the Gunslingers.
Looks like they're going to take a chance at 2 points here. Backup quarterback Vernon Sharp Jr. is going to be the one to take the ball up the field into the end zone to put the 2 points on the board and even things back up at 14, 8-14. North Texas Bulls lead here in the first quarter.
So we've talked some about switching quarterbacks in and out, and we just saw Vernon Sharp come in at under center and run the ball.
Yep.
I wonder if that's going to be kind of telling moving forward when we see him come in.
When you have a guy that is a veteran, a taller guy, a bigger guy, a guy that stands in the pocket and delivers, and you've got a mobile guy that can move around and make
Right.
things happen, that 2-point conversion is a great time to utilize that talent that you have.
Right.
And that's what we see the North Texas Bulls do as they take the lead 14-8 here in the first quarter. San Antonio Rose Palace. Hope you're having a great time tonight. We're ready.
Fans are getting into it.
For sure. Ben Hill back to kick the ball off the tee. Referees setting everybody up again.
I think they're trying to figure out how to assess the penalty. Is that going to be assessed on the kickoff?
That is a great question because you cannot, you could certainly move the ball up the 15 yards and allow the kick, but at that point, it's almost a free penalty for the San Antonio Gunslingers because they're going to kick it through the back of the end zone and it's going to be a touchback. So head coach Victor Mann looks like he's discussing with the referees how that's going to be dealt with. And as soon as they know, we'll know. As soon as we know, you'll know. Based on the goal line, we'll see how that penalty is assessed or if that penalty is assessed. Ben Hill set to kick off down the field. Chris Bustamante, your returner, not going to get to him as the low kick falls into the hands.
Yeah, number 3 gets the return up the sideline and gets pushed into the dasher board.
Both teams have kind of figured out that they don't really want to kick long and give the return man on the other team the opportunity to get a full return out of things. So both teams are kicking shorter, and I'm not sure about that strategy in this particular case. Instead of giving up, the 15 or 20 yard line, now center field, here at midfield, 25-yard line is where the San Antonio Gunslingers are going to start this drive. Gunslingers break the huddle. Chris Bustamante in the backfield, back next to David Olvera. Sends his receiver in motion, snaps the ball, drops back to pass. And we have yet another touchdown by the San Antonio Gunslingers. Number 19, and we don't have a name on him. He didn't have a name on him either. But that was a pretty move.
Nice somersaulting touchdown celebration for number 19. We're going to learn his name after today, that's for sure.
He has sure been getting some playing time. We will certainly have a name for him by the time we get to Mississippi, because he's already making noise for the San Antonio Gunslingers. That's kind of the way you want an offensive drive to go. One play, 25 yards, touchdown.
Yep, it was a little slant play just right across the middle of the field. The defense didn't pick it up. No linebacker there. Perfect pass from Olvera, and he just took it upfield.
14-14 score here in the first quarter as the San Antonio Gunslingers decide what to do with their point after opportunity. They can kick through the uprights and score a point. My feeling is you're going to see an offensive formation coming out of this huddle, and we will see if they can break the tie. David Olvera up under center. Chris Bustamante back behind him in the formation. Receiver goes into motion. Olvera back, throws the pass, wide open receiver. It's the same
number
guy.
Number 19 again.
8 points to his credit. Get that guy's jersey name on the back of that jersey. For sure. 16-14. Your score here in the first quarter as the San Antonio Gunslingers take the lead.
Yeah, he has certainly been a factor in this game. And again, I don't understand why the coverage isn't there, because there was no one covering him on that play.
There was no one near him. He was wide open on an island, all alone. Just well-designed play. You can see a well-designed play in any football, whether it's 11-man outdoor football or 8-man indoor football, when the coverage is that lost on a play where there's a player completely free, and that's exactly what we see there as the San Antonio Gunslingers take the field.
Sometime soon, somebody in North Texas is going to figure out that they need to put a body on number 19, I'm guessing.
Kali Rashad. All right, we had a different number for Kali Rashad. We are receiving word from the general manager here, because they are that attentive to the way things are going on. Kali Rashad, number 19. That's a guy that needs his name on the back of the jersey. He's been with the team a long time.
Yeah, we had Kali as number 5, but 19 is his jersey number. And
lined up for the kickoff. The Gunslingers are kicking the ball off from the end zone, and the ball is going to be returned, surprisingly, up to the 23-yard line. I felt like that ball touched the dasher board.
It did,
there.
Philip. It touched the dasher board.
At that point, it should be a penalty. It should be an illegal procedure penalty. You've kicked the ball out of bounds. However, ball's returned by Kerryon Taylor, and the North Texas Bulls are going to set up at the 24-yard line, and they're going to start with 1st and 10 here at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 44 with the stop. I think maybe that's Ben Kane.
Officials huddling together again. Not sure what we're seeing on a stoppage of play here. Bears repeating. First game for everybody. They break their huddle. White hat winds the clock. And the North Texas Bulls in their huddle. They break and make their way to the line. Robert Kent Jr. chatting with one of his receivers. I don't know if they're talking about where they want to go to eat later. Might have seen something in coverage. Receiver in motion, Kent back. Throws deep. And a great adjustment on the ball.
By the receiver, yeah.
By the receiver, and they pull it in for a touchdown. San Antonio Gunslingers go 25 yards in one play, score a touchdown, and the North Texas Bulls go, we can do 26 yards in one play and score a touchdown.
Welcome to arena football.
It's like a perverse game of Name That Tune.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be an incomplete play. The ball looked like it was going to be well behind the receiver, but he did a great job of reaching back as he was falling backwards and making that catch.
Incredible adjustment by Chris Franklin as he turned his body all the way around, located that ball. Defender never had a chance because that's not where the ball was going. And Chris Franklin able to draw that ball in, score the touchdown for his team, 20-16 here in the first quarter. Nice little grab off of the turf before the ball hit by number 12. And do you know who that is that caught that touchdown pass from the backup quarterback? Backup quarterback is Vernon Sharp. The receiver on the play, number 12, Robert Kidd Jr. Or did I see that wrong?
I think I saw 42. I think it was Meshach Williams.
Oh, okay.
Who is a fullback, because he looked pretty big, from Kansas State University. But that was a nice grab, fingertip grab right off of the turf. The ball was thrown low, and he reached down there and with his fingertips got it just before it hit the turf.
Still in the first quarter, 22-16. Lots of points already scored. What is that, 38 points already on the board in the first quarter here.
Yep.
That's what you see in arena football. Ben Hill setting up the ball on the tee. Chris Bustamante and Kali Rashad back deep to receive the kick. Let's see if a kick gets back to them this time. Short kick. But Kali Rashad is going to take possession of that. Makes his cut and tackled at the 24-yard line.
And you can see Kali Rashad right now. He's motioning right now, like just a little bit. He saw the opening and it was there, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. But he saw daylight and he was real close to breaking another one.
Yep. Coming up behind him and bringing him down right there on the 25-yard line. Last drive was a one-play 25-yard touchdown. Can they match that? Can our expectation simply be that you get 25 yards at a touchdown on every play?
It's quite possible, Philip. We'll see.
David Olvera back in shotgun. Sends his receiver into motion. Throws the pass. And nobody comes down with the ball. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Cam Johnson, the intended receiver on that play. But the real story on that play is that Jimmy Keys had the interception. He was tracking the ball and had room, and a collision with his own player not only knocked the ball out of his hand, it looks like it knocked the wind out of Jimmy Keys a little bit. He's still down and a little woozy. And we're going to take some time here and make sure that our player is all right.
Yeah, that was a hard hit, and you're right. He was going to intercept that ball before the contact made on him with his own player. Cam Johnson caught a little bit of that hit, but not the direct contact.
For sure.
And even he was a little rocked by it because that was a collision.
As the crew here deals with Jimmy Keys Jr., we're going to take a break. We'll send it to commercial. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to San Antonio Gunslinger. You're watching San Antonio Gunslingers football. We'll be right back.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
His way off the field on his own power. Good to see. Not sure if we'll see him again tonight. Might have just had the wind knocked out of him. We're not going to speculate too much. We're not medical professionals, and we're way too far away to know for sure what's going on with Jimmy, but we do wish him the best. San Antonio Gunslingers line up, 1st and 10, 25-yard line. I'm sorry, 2nd and 10. Incomplete pass on that last play. Almost an interception. David Olvera sends his receiver in motion. And his receiver, while they may have a little bit of a cushion, doesn't have that much of a cushion.
Yeah,
That's going to be a false start.
it'll probably get the penalty be called on the receiver, but the ball was snapped late. I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication there.
Moving back to the 20-yard line, that makes it 2nd and 15 from the 20-yard line. David Olvera back in shotgun again. Chris Bustamante there in the backfield with him. Receiver in motion. Ball is snapped. Olvera reading through his reads. Just an incredible catch by Nate Mace. Nate Mace, the backup quarterback, goes up and battles for the ball. A ball that ultimately probably should have been intercepted. He battles for possession, and he winds up bringing the ball down on the 3-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3.
Yeah, what a catch! As he's on the ground, he was battling for the ball and pulled it into his chest. Great catch by Nate Mace.
Looks like that is the end of the first quarter as they begin to march the field down to the other 3-yard line. So let me say, San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. Back here in San Antonio Rose Palace, San Antonio Gunslingers will have a 1st and goal on the 3-yard line to start off the second quarter. First quarter ends with 38 points on the board. That is spectacular.
What fun.
David Olvera attempting to run the ball himself, and It gets stripped. It's a fumble. It's a return all the way into the end zone. Dwayne Autry scoring the touchdown for the San Antonio Bulls when David Olvera was kind of attacked there in the pocket, stripped of the ball, and the North Texas Bulls pick it up, run it back, and score the touchdown, knocking on the door of their own. Oh, there's
a flag on the field.
Flag on the field,
We'll
and all
have
the
to see what
players are
happens.
walking back. Let's see if this play is going to stand. A false start, an illegal procedure of some sort on the North Texas Bulls will wipe out that play.
That's a costly penalty.
That is a huge penalty, and it leaves it. That will be a half the distance to the goal line kind of penalty, setting up.
It looks like they may have blitzed too many players. We talked about that
It's
earlier.
entirely possible until the ball leaves the box, the offensive box behind the line of scrimmage. The offensive lineman set up a box behind them about 6 yards deep. You can't leave that box with your players, and if you do, it's an illegal procedure. It's a legal defense. That's most likely what's happened here, and that'll be a 1st and goal from the 1. Olvera sets up and sends Nate Mace into motion. Olvera back to pass. He's looking. He's throwing. It's incomplete. And we have a player from the North Texas Bulls that doesn't feel like that was an incomplete pass. Marcel Brooks believes he came down with an interception and that the ball got knocked away after the play was over. The referees do not agree with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
That'll be a 2nd and goal.
I think that ball was actually placed really well. The receiver had a chance at getting that, and then the defense just closed in. They made a great play. I'm not sure who that was.
San Antonio Gunslingers' 2nd goal on the, let's call it the 1 yard line. Basically what it is. 1.5. David Olvera, shotgun formation, talking with his offensive captain and his gigantic lineman, David Ansaldua.
Philip, it's good to see Khalid Rashad coming back out because he was injured on that play trying to make the tackle, the play that was called back on the penalty. But he's back out there now.
Flag on the play before the play even starts. Looking for the guy with the white hat. See what he thinks about the problem. Ball moves closer to the San Antonio Gunslingers' goal, or the North Texas Bulls goal, I guess more appropriately. There we go. We'll try to find the action a little closer for you here. David Olvera back to pass, thought about running it, and then second-guessed himself. This is actually something that we've seen from David Olvera in practice before. Second-guessing decisions from time to time, and it never really works out well. For the most part, he's worked out of that tendency, but in that play, we certainly saw something that we've seen from David before. It is a 5-yard loss back to the 6-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line.
That certainly didn't work out for him in that situation. And yeah, he took a good hit, and I thought someone grabbed him by the face mask, but there was no flag. So
looks like a designed run for him. He started to run and felt like the defense was going to close on him too fast, so he stepped back to pass, and by that time, the defense was on him, and it was all over. Lots of Gunslinger fans here tonight, but there is plenty of room for more. Get your tickets right now for the March 29th game against the Austin Wild, coming in here to the San Antonio Rose Palace, 7:30 p.m. that Monday night. You don't want to miss this. It's an incredible atmosphere, around the team and around these fans. Some tailgating going on earlier today. We had a great time with that. Standing room only, right next to the bar. You see our balcony there with fans watching as we head back to football action here. David Olvera has his team lined up, sends his receiver into motion. Ball snaps. Olvera moving around, gets the ball to Khalil Rashad, who
Scores another touchdown? Is
I
he in?
believe so. The referees aren't giving me a lot of signals here for touchdowns, but it
No, it looks
seems
like he's just short. They're placing the ball at the 1 or 2 yard line.
I think we have a touchdown. I think this is the point
Oh, is this the
after
point after?
attempt. So Khalil Rashad, his second touchdown or third touchdown of the night. I'm losing track. San Antonio Gunslingers going for 2 to break the tie at 22 here in the second quarter. David Olvera up under center. Chris Bustamante back behind him. Receiver in motion. Ball is snapped. Fake the handoff. And Nate Mace gets undercut by his defender. Knocks down the ball. We will have a tie score as the Gunslingers get set to kick the ball off. 22-22.
Yeah, that was number 15, James Bailey, out of TCU, making the play on defense there to stop the score.
Looked like he gave just enough room for David to believe that the receiver was open, and then he closed that up as soon as the ball was in the air. That's good defensive back play. That's how you play defensive back.
Right.
You bait that quarterback into believing that he's got an open man, and then you make your break on the ball.
Right, he really closed fast and had a really good opportunity to actually take that ball the other way.
David Olvera talking with offensive coordinator Herbert Cheeto Gonzalez, a man who is used to playing on these fields, not necessarily standing beside these fields and coaching. His first opportunity to coach here in San Antonio with the Gunslingers, and he is the offensive coordinator. Another referee huddle. I love these.
Yeah, we see a lot of these huddles.
I'm a big fan of the referee huddle. As the players move down the field, San Antonio Gunslingers coming to our end of the field for a kickoff, which only makes sense because the North Texas Bulls were kicking off from here before. And that was in the first quarter. And they flip in the second.
Nate Mace lining up for the kick. He is the substitute kicker for game 1 for the Gunslingers.
Manny Nunez, the normal gunslinger kicker. He just got married.
Yep, he is currently on his honeymoon.
Yeah, so on his honeymoon, he said, I'm going to be out for that first game, guys. And the team said, really? Can't you just come to play football for your honeymoon? And he said, no. Actually, it looks like we're going to get a kick from big boy Jonathan Taylor, lining up to kick the ball here. Jonathan Taylor kicking off for the Gunslingers right to the 25-yard line. And the tackle is made right there.
By guess who? Nate Mace.
Nate Mace all over the field today.
He did play linebacker in high school and some in college, I believe.
It
So
was a heck of a battle at quarterback between David Olvera and Nate Mace. Nate Mace could be one of those guys that does not get the starting job at the position he wanted and just said, you know what, I'll do what I have to do. I want to be on the team, I guess. But you could be upset about that, or you could go out and be helpful anywhere and everywhere you can on the field. That's who Nate Mace has decided he's going to be for this team. North Texas Bulls line up. Robert Kent Jr. sends his receiver into motion. Quick toss. to an uncovered receiver, and he gets 9 yards, maybe 10 yards, might get the first down. He ran into the pole, so we'll just have to see what the referees want to do with that. They're going to go ahead and say 10 yards and a first down. Move those chains.
Yeah, the wide receiver caught that ball out on just a little outplay. He had a teammate in front of him who was able to block 2 gunslingers out of the play.
First and 10, Gunslingers, 13-yard line. High pass, not really a chance there.
A little
really veteran move for Robert Kent. Seeing a receiver that was ultimately covered and throwing that ball so far out there that neither of them were able to make a play on it. Just a smart move. There's always a second down when you make that play. Second down and 10 from the 13-yard line here on the Gunslinger side of the ball. Robert Kent Jr. up under center, sends his receiver into motion. False start right here on the offensive line.
Definite movement on the offensive line, and then gets a little chippy there between number 77 and Ben Kane.
Number 72, Tyler Castle, jumping a little early. Thought he had a bead on when the snap should happen. That's going to move them back 5 yards, and we're going to see a second down and 14, 15, 14, 13. Let's call it 13.
About 13.
Here from the 18-yard line. Jonathan Kemp back. And the tackle made quickly by number 4, Javon Thomas.
Yeah, he closed in quickly and got the receiver down.
Only allowing about 5 yards. So now we're going to have a 3rd and 10 at the original line of scrimmage for this set of downs here at the 13-yard line.
Good wrap-up by Thomas.
Chris Franklin has already broken a couple of those kind of arm tackles. It would not have been surprising to see him break through Thomas's tackle and carry that ball into the end zone. Thomas just a little stronger on that particular play. Not sure if we have a timeout here on the field. North Texas coaching staff talking with some players. All right, we do have a timeout on the field, but we're going to keep it right here because I didn't realize that's what was happening, and that means you get free from commercials for a few more minutes. North Texas Bulls taking the line of scrimmage. Robert Kent Jr. up under center, sends his running back really into motion. Quick throw, quick catch, quick touchdown. Number 8, Chris Franklin, we just said he has a tendency to break open some plays, and he did just that as he scores a touchdown for the North Texas Bulls to break the tie. That's going to put us at 28-22 here in the second quarter with the point after attempt.
Yeah, that was busted coverage on Javon Thomas and Darius Banks. They were both talking to each other after that play, kind of upset with each other because somebody missed their assignment, it looks like.
A little bit of a conversation there. That was your job. No, that was your job. Interesting thing that we're seeing here, teams that score a touchdown on this end of the field move down to the other end of the field to take their point after attempt. I'm not sure why that is, but it is.
Yep, that has been the case on every score so far. I'm not sure if there's a problem with the goalpost and they decided to address it in this manner or what.
North Texas Bulls making their decision here. They're going to go for one. That kicking hasn't worked out well for them so far today. Their only attempt at a kick has resulted in 2 points for the Gunslingers. So they smartly say, no, we'll just try for the 2 ourselves. And again, Vernon Sharp Jr., your quarterback here for this 2-point conversion. Ball is snapped. Sharp is back. Ball's in the air and intercepted, ending that bid for 2 points. That's going to give us a 28-22 score here in the second quarter. We're going to take a break right here. We'll be right back after this. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, A-R-E-N-A. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole-body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. Ben Hill getting set for the kickoff here in the second quarter. 28-22, thanks for joining us tonight. My understanding is we're starting to see a little lag on the stream. We'll do what we can to take care of that short kick. And that is grabbed immediately by Cody Brooks, who falls down on it. I'm sorry, that's not Cody Brooks, is it? That's Nico Thomas.
Yeah, he very rarely got on that ball right as it hopped right at him.
And the Gunslingers are going to have a very short field on the 10-yard line. Not even sure it's going to be a 1st and 10 issue so much as it's going to be something has happened. I think this is the penalty at the end of the 2-point conversion attempt that is being applied now to the Gunslingers. They're going to back up 10 yards. They're going to be on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 20 on the North Texas Bulls 20-yard line. David Olvera back in a kind of a pistol formation, sends his receiver in motion. Back to pass, throws over the middle. Lots of hands up in the air. Lots of North Texas Bulls hands up in the air. And they knock that ball down, bringing up 2nd down.
Yeah, there was kind of a 2 receivers out that way running cross patterns, and the ball was kind of right in the middle, so I'm not sure exactly where Olvera was going with that one, but nonetheless it fell incomplete.
So that'll bring up 2nd down from the 20-yard line. David Olvera back in that shotgun position, sends his receiver in motion, drops back to pass, Long pass toward the end zone and just too much. And that ball goes into the crowd, and you know what that means?
They get to keep that ball.
That means there's a souvenir out there now. Oh, the ball came back in.
Did he not know he was allowed to keep it, he or she?
What a bummer. What a bummer. Although I'm looking down at the ownership right now, and they look pretty happy that the ball came back in.
I would want to keep the ball.
I would too. 3rd and 10 here on the 20-yard line. San Antonio Gunslingers need to make something happen to even this score. The Bulls lead 28-22 here in the back half of the second quarter. David Olvera sends his receiver into motion, snaps the ball, looks around, decides to run that ball, doesn't get very far. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Actually think he might have lost a yard.
Yeah, number 0, big guy, but he sure did move pretty quickly and got to Olvera on that play, who was scrambling.
So 4th down, as we've already mentioned, there is no punt. Not that you would punt in this situation anyway. You're too close to make an accurate punt. From the 21-yard line, it is 4th down and 11. And it looks like we have timeout on the field. And keep it right here through that timeout. San Antonio Gunslingers calling a timeout there. Want to make sure they've got the right play called. Have things set. Tell you what, while we're in the middle of this timeout, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back with you here on San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown.
Back here at the Rose Palace, San Antonio Gunslingers, North Texas Bulls. Bulls hold it on to a 28-22 lead right now. San Antonio in a rough position, 4th and 11 from their own from the 21-yard line of the Bulls. They've got to make at least 11 yards. Something tells me they're thinking end zone. David Olvera back, throws deep, and a great catch made, but I didn't see a number. He reached up and jumped out of the crowd.
That was
Nico
number 9.
Thomas. All I saw were red jerseys there, and then I saw out of the middle of those red jerseys, a couple of hands come up and snag that ball out of the air for the first down.
He jumped up and got it for sure, Philip. He got high up and took that pass and went right into the dasher board.
First and goal on the 7-yard line, enough to make a Gunslinger first down, and now they're in business. Who are you looking for here? Leo, who do you see as a weapon?
Well, we've got Chris Bustamante back there. It's been a while since he's had his number called.
Olvera back to pass, looking deep, throws across the field, and the catch is made. And is that Nico Thomas?
That is Nico Thomas again.
Yet again.
They fake to Bustamante and then went to Nico, but there is a flag on the field.
Uh-oh.
It looks like from Chris Bustamante's reaction there that maybe the penalty is on the Bulls.
We'll wait for the referee to tell us what's going on. He's telling somebody. They wave off the penalty. It's a touchdown. 28-28 here in the second quarter. San Antonio Gunslingers with an opportunity to take the take the lead. Understanding we're having some problems with the stream right now. Video dropping out. Stick with us. We'll get you as much as we can audio-wise. We'll try to lock down any video problems you're seeing. Again, first time for all of us. David Olvera back to pass on this 2-point attempt. And Nico Thomas falling to his knees, reaching out, grabbing the ball and dragging it in. And he is able to score the 2 points for the San Antonio Gunslingers, 30-28. Nicely done by the Gunslingers as we head down toward the end of the second quarter. Got a few minutes left. The Gunslingers take a 2-point lead.
Yeah, Olvera put that ball out a bit far in front of him. I wasn't sure that maybe he was going to get to it, but he laid out and got to the ball and made it a spectacular catch.
(30-28). Here in the San Antonio Rose Palace. San Antonio Gunslingers get set to kick off here in the second quarter. Lots of points on the board. Both teams finding it offensively. Gunslingers counting and making sure they got the right number of guys on the field here. As Jonathan Taylor sets up to kick the ball off. And there's the kick, a little deeper than kicks we've seen from Taylor so far. And it provides an opportunity for a return. He turns the field one way, he turns the field the other, and he's still on his feet. I think every Gunslinger has had a hand on him before they could finally put him into the boards. Just a maddening kind of run for the Gunslingers there. They couldn't bring him down. They could all touch him, but they just couldn't bring him down.
He changed direction. He probably ran about the full length of the field, 50, 60 yards to gain what he gained on that return.
Ball will be placed at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the North Texas Bulls there on that 21-yard line as they attempt to answer, take this lead back here in the second quarter. Robert Kent under center. Seems to prefer to be right up under his center like that. Sends his receiver into motion, drops back to pass, and there is Gunslinger pressure all over him before he can get that ball out. Eric England gets hands onto the shoulder pads of Robert Kent and toss him down. We've got other things getting tossed down, namely a penalty flag.
Yeah. Thought we had the first sack of the night for the Gunslingers, but let's see what the call is here. They pick up the flag?
Yep, they are going to wave off the flag. Some sort of illegal procedure, but it looks like they wave off the flag, and that is going to be a second down and quite a distance at this point. It looks like it's going to be 15 yards or so after that sack. Second 16 from the 24-yard line. Receiver in motion. Kent back to pass. He's got a wide open receiver in the end zone. Number 4, Tavis Holland. This is a guy that they told us to watch. The North Texas Bulls earlier this week said, watch Tavis Holland. He is a rookie. He is brand new in professional football. He's excited. He is dancing on the field right now. He's a bright kid. who sees coverages very well, and he certainly saw the soft spot in that. And he brings in the catch, scores the touchdown, 34-30. North Texas Bulls over the Gunslingers here in the second quarter as they line up for their 2-point conversion, I would imagine.
Right.
Don't you imagine, Leo?
I think so, yeah. And as you said, Kerryon Taylor is definitely explosive, but that was too easy, Philip. I mean, he was the man in motion, came in, and the defensive back just watched him, and nobody adjusted to his route. Nobody covered. He went untouched into the end zone and caught the ball.
Credit to Kent for seeing Tavis Holland wide open in the way that he was. Kent back. Too much on that ball. A little too high. A little too wild. And the score is going to stay 34-30. The Gunslingers are going to have an opportunity to take a lead with their next possession.
Yeah, the game is fast and physical even for the referees. We had a referee down on that play, but he got up pretty quickly.
The referees are walking around out there with no pads now. They don't have a helmet.
Yeah, they're at a
They
disadvantage.
don't have shoulder pads. And they're usually stationary, so a guy running across you and running into you is all of him into all of you. Chris Bustamante already set back here for the return, but it almost looks like he wants to do it alone. Here we go. Here's the rest of his Gunslinger teammates. Kali Rashad also back here, ready to return the kick if it should come to his side of the field. As Ben Hill gets ready to kick. Here in the second quarter, 34-30. A little bit of time left on the clock for the Gunslingers to do something. Ben Hill lining up the kick on the tee. And now the referee signal they're ready for play. We're ready for play too. And here comes the kick. Nice long deep kick. Kali Rashad is going to get an opportunity to take this one back. And he reverses field and he's got a nice open lane. One guy left to bring him down, and that one guy does it. He is certainly excited with his tackle, and I understand that. Had Javon Thomas not, I'm sorry, that's our guy. Had Tavis Holland not brought him down, I think Kali Rashad would have taken that ball all the way. We do have some laundry on the field that we have to adjudicate. And it is going to be on the Gunslingers, a holding penalty. That's going to back them up 10 yards and set up a 1st and 10 right about the 15-yard line.
Yep, they're going to back him up a little bit, but Kali Rashad made a nice juke and went across field, and he had the one guy to beat, like you said. If he made one cut, gone the other direction, he might have been gone, but that's not what worked out, and then we had a holding call anyway. So let's see what the offense can do now.
David Olvera in his shotgun formation, standing next to him, Chris Bustamante. Going to send Cameron Johnson into motion. Ball snapped. Olvera back. Looking down the field. Just can't connect with Nico Thomas. Didn't look like Nico Thomas realized that ball was coming for him.
Right, he looked back for it, but he looked back a little late. Didn't realize the ball was coming, so.
Set up 2nd down and 10 on the 15-yard line. Same basic formation. Olvera in the shotgun with Bustamante beside him. Olvera running for his life, throws the ball. It glances across his receiver's hands. That's Kali Rashad, the intended receiver, but he's unable to drag it in. So now we're looking at 3rd down at 10. And David Olvera took a hit.
David Olvera has been under a lot of pressure so far in this first half. And, yeah, he took a hit, but the defender for the Bulls is actually still down on the field. I don't know if it looks like a leg injury, so he might have done something, or maybe he's cramping on that play.
We're going to take this opportunity to take a break. We'll be right back with you after this. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Prince Automobile, 6355 Montgomery Drive in San Antonio is your full-service independent automobile dealership that sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. They have financing and warranties available. Call them at 210-850-7125 to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online right now at princeautomobiles.com. Architect Outdoor Living, where we bring your outdoor living ideas to life. Architect is a deck and patio design and installation company that offers custom designs that can incorporate various amenities and features that go beyond just decks and patios, door structure you have in mind. Their contractors are all trained, licensed, and certified. Contact your local architect agent to complete a complimentary design consultation or go online to architect.com. Back here at the San Antonio Rose Palace, we are dealing with a 3rd down and 10 opportunity here for the San Antonio Gunslingers. David Olvera back in the shotgun. Chris Bustamante standing beside him as he sends his receiver in motion. Nate Mace, the motion receiver there. And David Olvera is going to take a sack there. Number 50, I guess. Melvin Tyree able to get his arms wrapped around David Olvera, and David did not have an opportunity to do much of anything with that particular play.
Yeah, Melvin Terry, big guy out of Texas College, came down hard on Olvera. He was looking for his receiver, and he couldn't find the open receiver. Ran out of time.
Not a lot of time in arena football. You've got 3 guys protecting you, but the 3 guys that are coming after you don't have much field to cover before they can get to you.
Right.
It's a 5-yard loss, and it sets up a 4th and 15 on the 10-yard line for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Olvera back in the shotgun. Empty backfield for him as they set up another, looks like another blocker there on the short side. Olvera, nice long pass. Oh, Kali Rashad has the ball in his hand, but had to dive a little. It was a little long for him. Unable to keep that ball in his hands, and it falls to the turf. Kali Rashad is upset. David Olvera is upset.
Just a little long, but definitely catchable. And yeah, Kali Rashad goes to his knees and punches the turf in frustration.
It is a game of inches, and sometimes those inches aren't necessarily the inches on the field. Sometimes they are inches in the air. That ball just about an inch too long. That means the North Texas Bulls will take over. 1st and 10 here on the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, 1st and goal. We'll see where the chains actually mark that. We'll see if there's a need for chains. Outside the 10-yard line, so it should be a 1st and 10. Although they are waving the chains off, so we're going to have to call it 1st and goal. Robert Kent Jr. up under center. Receiver in motion. Back to pass. Attempted pass over here to Holland. Holland unable to wrap his hands around it. And that's going to make it 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, got a little bit of pressure on there, and he just threw a little too far to the outside for the receiver. He tried to make an effort, went into the dasher board, and couldn't make the catch.
Robert Kent up under center. Receiver in motion. Ball snaps. Kent just throws that ball away. Flag on the field.
Yep, throws it into the stands, and looks like this time they're keeping the souvenir, Philip.
Yep. Smart people. Smart folks. Balls that go into the stands stay in the stands. That's a new souvenir. And a nice souvenir. Not going to lie.
Yeah, those balls are nice. They have the logo on them.
San Antonio Gunslingers responsible for a penalty here. Ball moves 5 yards up. Now we're going to see 3rd and goal from the 5. Did not see any indication that we are awarding an automatic 1st down, so we're going to assume this is 3rd and 5 from the 5, just outside the 5-yard line. Receiver in motion, handoff, and that's not going anywhere. In fact, that moves way, way back as the ball was fumbled. And while the North Texas Bulls recover, they're going to be looking at 4th and goal all the way back at the 20-yard line, 15-yard line.
Jonathan Taylor was all over that play.
Jonathan Taylor met the running back at the handoff. He's like, you want to take that first and then I'll tackle you, or should I tackle you first? Another timeout here on the field. So let me tell you, finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by the Smoking Guns Podcast. Smoking Guns Podcast is your one and only source for information and analysis on the San Antonio Gunslingers. Every week, Philip, Leo, and RC will take you inside the Gunslingers as they battle their way through the West Division of the American Arena League. Find all their episodes online at smokinggunspod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. The 210 got something to say. That's a good-looking group of people right there.
I would say so, yeah. Especially the guy on the right.
We're gonna make sure. Hey, I guess hey. No, check us out, Smoking Guns Podcast. We have a great time with that. We're having an even better time actually watching some football here on the field. Inaugural game for the San Antonio Gunslingers and North Texas Bulls, and it has been a great game up to this point, 34-30. North Texas Bulls trying to take a couple of possession lead here, but they've got a tall order. 4th down and 15.
Yeah, there's been a lot of action, but the most recent action for the Bulls has been going backwards, and so now they're faced with a big play.
We have yet to see any team take a 2-possession lead. Ball is snapped. Kent looking for that back shoulder fade. Penalty flag on the field. We do have a player down. That's number 1, Clinton Solomon. Receiving the pass.
Yeah, the ball was perfectly delivered. The receiver went up for the ball, and the defender, I believe it was it Seminat, came down and
Solomon.
Yeah, he came down and might have got him by the head a little bit and pushed him into the dasher board, and he's still down. And I think maybe that's why the flag, because he got him by the head.
I actually believe that the flag is going to be not on a player on the field, but a player in street clothes who immediately stood over Solomon, a Gunslingers player, and waved an incomplete pass over him in a taunting kind of fashion.
Oh.
I really think that it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Gunslingers after a player that is just standing on the sidelines got a little too involved in the play and taunted. Referees talking with coaches, talking with players, trying to get some order here. They are signaling a 4th down.
I think they're trying to make sense of what happened here. Since it was on 4th down, and the penalty was after the incompletion.
Well, now we have a penalty flag on the field, and I believe that the coach of the North Texas Bulls has just been ejected from the game for something he said to the referees. I'm not certain of that, but I sure can see a "you're out of here" gesture from an official, and that's certainly what that looked like. Players still arguing with the officials, and this is never a good situation. Whatever you think happened, the officials didn't see it that way, and you're not going to change their mind at this point.
Right.
This needs to just, end. A coach is being escorted out and off the field. The officials are walking off the field.
That's the end of the half. Is that the end of the half?
I'm not sure what we're seeing right now. The officials have walked out of the tunnel and off the field.
The players are leaving the field.
Gunslingers players are doing the same. They are walking into the tunnel, and here come the rest of the North Texas Bulls players. I'm assuming they're calling that the end of the half. If that's how they're going to utilize this to get a better handle on the game, that's probably not a bad move. There's a lot of tempers running hot here. After a very contentious play, we have halftime here at the San Antonio Rose Palace with the San Antonio Gunslingers trailing the North Texas Bulls. Bulls at 34, San Antonio Gunslingers at 30. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Back here at the San Antonio Rose Palace. San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day is brought to you by G-Force Parking and Striping. Owned and operated by Travis Martin, G-Force San Antonio can handle all of your pavement marking needs. They provide high-end parking lot striping and parking lot marking services in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. G-Force is the marking business in San Antonio. If you're ready to see results, get in touch with their team today by calling 210-710-1016. Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Admiral Security. Admiral is San Antonio's premier authorized ADT dealer, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands and protecting what matters most all across San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Admiral has a special offer for all you Gunslingers fans. Give them a call today for more information. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by Moonlight Ballroom. Moonlight Ballroom is San Antonio's #1 event venue and party destination. Moonlight Ballroom is all-inclusive and offers any and all services for your event needs with party packages available. Weddings, quinceañeras, holiday parties, and more, you name it, they offer it. Give them a call today at 210-549-4180. Make sure to mention the San Antonio Gunslingers for a promotional discount. San Antonio Gunslingers football has played its first half. Leo, we've seen the first half of football in the books. We're not 100% sure how that situation there at the half ended. I am almost certain that we will see a different look at coaching staff when the North Texas Bulls come out, although I will say that the North Texas coach that was thrown out, it looked like it was Victor Mann. I wasn't really able to see from where I was standing. Went and had a conversation with our head coach, with the Gunslingers head coach, Tony Hernandez. Tony Hernandez seemed to understand what he was hearing and maybe desiring to go and see if he could smooth over the situation and Coach Mann could continue coaching on the field. That would be an interesting turn of events.
Right.
It's competitive football. It's competitive between two teams that have talked a little bit amongst each other. There is some history here, even with this being the first game. Ownership groups have been connected and then disconnected and some of those kind of things. So there's already a rivalry here.
Definitely. There's definitely a rivalry between these two teams, and moments have been very heated on the field and on the sidelines, and it went right into the halftime, and I don't know what happened, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting situation, and tempers were hot.
34-30, the North Texas Bulls are leading right now in what has been just a fun first half. 64 points overall scored between both teams, and that's just one half of football. A great night, lots of fans on the field. We are seeing fans on the dasher boards having a great time. We're seeing fans here in the stands enjoying it. We're not quite sure why you're not here. If you're watching this online, you're not here. I guess you could be here and watching this online. That would be redundant, but we're okay with it.
Sure.
What did you see in that first half? What stood out? Let's talk specifically about the North Texas Bulls. What did you see from North Texas in this first half?
Well, I saw something that we suspected from the beginning before the game, that quarterback situation was going to be a strength for the Bulls.
Yeah.
With what's his name?
Robert Kent.
Yeah.
He has certainly been a veteran presence for that team. He's made some good decisions. He's led them well. On the other side of the ball, not that you ever want to compare, player to player all the time. David Olvera has definitely been in his first pro game.
Yes. On the conversely, you could see the inexperience on Olvera's, on the side of Olvera. He's made a few ill-advised throws that he was lucky weren't intercepted. He's made some good throws as well, but the decision-making isn't there yet that you would expect from the seasoned veteran like we've seen from Kent. One other observation is that not all of that may be Olvera's fault, but he has been under a lot of pressure and duress during this game, as the Bulls defensive line has really got after him a lot.
Yeah, not getting a lot of time there back in the pocket. He's having to make decisions quickly. He's made some good decisions. He's made some decisions that I don't want to call them questionable. It's the first game for everybody.
Right.
But you would hope that he would start making different decisions than some of the decisions he's made. But that is, again, first pro game, playing football in a pro setting. He's played in high school. He's played in some semi-pro opportunities. This is his first pro opportunity. Defensively for the Bulls, defensively for either team, have you seen anything that is exciting you? Now, normally in 11-man football, early in the season like this, defenses are playing better than offenses. We've not seen that kind of trend here tonight.
No, with a 34-30 score at halftime, there's been a lot of scoring, a lot through the air. I was surprised to see early run plays, because you don't see a lot of run plays, but we saw a couple of that early, but since then it's been all passing offense for both sides of the ball. And the defenses have been physical and getting after the quarterback, but the defensive backs have given up a lot of plays. As is expected in arena football, it's hard to defend the offenses in arena football because of what's allowed by the receivers with the motion. They get a running head start, so this game is actually tailored towards high scoring, and that's what we've seen.
So going into the second half, let's talk a little bit about what teams need to do. Let's start with the team that's behind the home team, San Antonio Gunslingers. What are they going to have to do in the second half to be better, to end up taking the win here?
For the Gunslingers to take the win, I think they need to just settle down a little bit. Olvera, I think he's learned a lot in the first half, and I expect him to come out and a little bit better on the decision making. Hopefully they can get him a little bit better protection as well, because I think that's been a big part of it, where he has been under duress and under a lot of pressure through most of this first half. they certainly have the weapons. They have the speed on offense. I mean, we know for sure Khalid Rashad has already had an outstanding game, but they have a lot of weapons at wide receiver that whose names we haven't called so far in this first half. Like one of the guys I was looking forward to seeing, Joey Fisher, out there. So maybe get the ball spread around a little bit to keep the Bulls guessing on where the offense is going to run through. I think the Gunslingers need to spread the ball around a little bit.
And on the Bulls side of the field, what do they need to do to continue to hold that lead?
The Bulls basically have to continue doing what they're doing, give protection to their quarterback, and the quarterback has done an excellent job of examining what he's seeing the defense, finding the open man. We saw a couple of plays where they were wide open because it seemed like Kent knew exactly where the defense was going to be and where they were set at, and they need to continue doing that if they're going to be successful. Hopefully the Gunslingers make some adjustments.
I want to give a shout out to these group of guys right here that you're seeing on the screen. They have no idea they're there. Tanner is getting married here in just a few weeks on April 10th. He is not the one in the dyed jersey, but the gentleman right next to him. He's getting married here in a couple of weeks and decided that his bachelor party would be out here at the Gunslingers inaugural game. So his buddy Jeremy, his soon-to-be brother-in-law, brought him out. They got Dasher board tickets. They texted me earlier today and said, hey, we're going to be there. Make sure you let everybody know that Tanner is getting married. Tanner's getting married. Good luck, Tanner and Molly. We're excited for you guys. And we love the fact that you're celebrating at a Gunslingers game. Well, Leo, let's take a break right here, catch up on some of our sponsors, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit about next week, because this is just the beginning of Gunslingers football.
First game of the season.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back. You're listening to Gunslingers, watching Gunslingers football right here on Gunslingers Game Day. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, A-R-E-N-A. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole-body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Alamo Brewery. Alamo Brewery is San Antonio's premium production brewery. Alamo makes numerous styles of beers that are brewed specifically for our San Antonio beer palates. Look for all these beers in your neighborhood grocery store and at your favorite restaurants and bars. Alamo Brewery proudly supports the Gunslingers. Look for Gunslinger-specific labels on some Alamo Amber cans and Alamo Listo Light cans when it's time to buy your next beer. San Antonio Gunslingers game day. Philip Higginbotham and Leo Yamas sitting in the booth enjoying the inaugural game of the San Antonio Gunslingers, but not the only game of the San Antonio Gunslingers. We have another game in just 7 days, and it is nowhere near here.
No.
It is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. For those of you that just haven't pulled up your Google map fast enough, I will tell you it's 9.5 hours away from here.
Right.
The Gunslingers will be traveling up there next weekend. We will be taking on the Mississippi Raiders. It will be their season opener. They're the only team that the San Antonio Gunslingers play outside of the Western Division. What an interesting turnaround to go from your first game in your home to the furthest game that you have to travel to take on. Remember, these are not professional. These are professional football players, but this is not their only job.
Right.
They have other jobs. They have families. They have responsibilities. How much tougher is that going to be?
It's going to be really tough. I mean, to get on a bus on Friday to drive up and be prepared to play for a game on Saturday after a 9.5-hour drive for a team you have no film on, no information. Very similar circumstances to what we're seeing going into this game, where they weren't very familiar with the opposition. But now, this time, the opposition, who doesn't have to go through the trip and is at home for their season opener, has the advantage of actually having film on you, which is going to be this game.
So that's next week. Tickets are available if you're interested in driving out to Hattiesburg, or if you're, by some miracle, live near Hattiesburg and you just love football and you check into random American Arena League games. We're excited to have you with us. Come join us in Mississippi for the Gunslingers and the Raiders. Gonna be a great game.
Should be fun.
Players coming back on the field, beginning to warm up a little bit and find that groove. Going into the second half, Leo, how important is it to try to get that double, that two-possession lead? No team has had a two-possession. Both teams have had leads, multiple leads.
Right.
But nobody has had a lead that will require two possessions to overcome. Is that the next step? Is that what you're aiming for if you're on the coaching staff of either of these teams? Let's get ahead, and really ahead.
Definitely, as back and forth as this has been, and we've already seen that you can score in multiple situations in this type of game. Getting a 2-score lead is huge in a scenario like this. So that's definitely to the advantage of whichever team is able to attain that first, and the Bulls are going to have the first opportunity.
San Antonio Gunslingers game day. We're going to take one final break. When we come back, it'll be time for us to kick the ball off. The North Texas Bulls will receive the kick, so they will have an opportunity to take that very important two-possession lead here in the second half. The Gunslingers taking the ball in the first coin flip in the first quarter. That means the Bulls will have an opportunity now with a 4-point lead to turn that into either a 10 or a 12-point lead. I guess they could turn it into a 13-point lead, but we haven't seen any evidence that that's how they're gonna play the game.
Right.
We're gonna take one more break. We'll be right back after this with Gunslingers football here on Gunslingers Game Day.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on
San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Prince Automobiles. Prince Automobiles, conveniently located at 6355 Montgomery Drive in San Antonio, is your full-service independent automobile dealership that sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. They have financing and warranties available. Call them at 210-850-7125 to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online right now at princeautomobiles.com. Architect Outdoor Living, where we bring your outdoor living ideas to life. Architect is a deck and patio design and installation company that offers custom designs that can incorporate various amenities and features that go beyond just decks and patios. they can build just about any outdoor structure you have in mind. Their contractors are all trained, licensed, and certified. Contact your local architect agent to complete a complimentary design consultation or go online to architect.com. Finally, Gunslingers Football is brought to you by the Smoking Guns Podcast. Smoking Guns Podcast is your one and only source for information and analysis on the San Antonio Gunslingers. Every week, Philip, Leo, and RC will take you inside the Gunslingers as they battle their way through the West Division of the American Arena League. Find all their episodes online at smokinggunspod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. The 210 got something to say. Well, Gunslingers game day football. The North Texas Bulls still out on the field. The Gunslingers not out here yet. They're giving some time for the other teams, or for the other team to do things. Now, really interesting right there at the first half. I began thinking about this. If the Bulls can score that touchdown that was just a fingertip away right here up underneath us in this end zone, that final play of the half that was somewhat controversial, then they have a 10 to 12 point lead and the ball.
That's huge. That would have been huge.
That is a big swing on that one play, and it doesn't help that things were so controversial there at the end. We saw the North Texas Bulls upset about something. We saw Gunslingers players and coaches that were upset about something. An argument ensuing between the the North Texas Bulls coaching staff and the officials, and looked like the head coach, Victor Mann, got booted, or one of the coaches, I believe it was Victor Mann, getting thrown out of the game. What a big swing. What a big play. What a big controversial play. Kind of scary how easily things can shift here in arena football.
Right, the Gunslingers really dodged a bullet there at the end, because you're absolutely right. If they score, they already have a 2-point lead and the ball to start the second half. And the way things go in arena football, that could almost be considered insurmountable, the way things are going. Definitely very heated moments at the end there. I see that we have the Bulls out warming up on the field, or at least some of the Bulls. The Gunslingers have yet to come out. They're still in their locker room, going over things, and maybe just giving some time for some tempers to cool. I'm sure they're getting some talks as to how they're going to approach this second half and what adjustments they're going to make. And it's going to be really interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do with the changed coaching staff, whether if they're without their head coach, how is that going to affect their game plan?
You're just seeing Andy Anderson, the gunslinger that rode the horse onto the field for the San Antonio Gunslingers as they were introduced and brought out. Just a really neat moment watching Andy ride out. Andy is actually a weatherman up in the Waco area, and he does a lot of what would you say, reenactment sort of stuff?
Yes.
Out at the Alamo, out at the different battles, Texas history battles, and he was also the commander on the horse way back in the San Antonio Commanders days. He would lead the Commanders on the field.
He led the Commanders out the tunnel with the pyrotechnics and the explosion with the sword drawn. Yeah, that's
the only time we're going to mention the Commanders, but we are going to say that there is a connection there. Andy Anderson, the commander that led the team on the field back in those days, leading the team on the field here tonight in kind of a neat nod towards San Antonio football history. As all of our listeners probably know, our listeners and watchers probably already know, San Antonio Gunslingers itself, the name is a nod towards San Antonio football history, intentional or unintentional. There are stories both ways that kind of fly around about whether the ownership group knew or didn't know that the Gunslingers were a team here in San Antonio before. Even if, no matter what the story is, it is a nod back to professional football here in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers were part of the USFL back in 1983 to 85. played in the Alamo Stadium
Rock Pile.
out near the zoo, right across the street from the zoo.
Right, just on the other side of 281.
So lots of history, lots of San Antonio football history all around the San Antonio Gunslingers, and they are now part of San Antonio football history with their inaugural game tonight. We're having a great time here at the San Antonio Rose Palace. Really beautiful, really neat venue. It's perfectly suited for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Definitely fits the motif.
I saw a comment earlier, they're just playing in a barn. Well, where else would the Gunslingers play but at a corral? That's the way things work.
Yeah, that's what we've, on the podcast, decided to call the venue. We call it the Corral.
We can call it the corral. Good game so far, 34-30. North Texas Bulls leading the San Antonio Gunslingers. Is that what you expected to see at this point?
Not what we were expecting to see, certainly not what we were hoping to see. But as we began to get a little more familiar with the roster of the North Texas Bulls and see some of the things we noticed there, we had some suspicions about what we might expect from their quarterback play and their offensive line, and that's been right in line with what we were concerned and suspected. The thing now is what the Gunslingers can do to adjust to counter that.
Yeah, the Gunslingers, I think there was a little bit of error around the team of this is our home. This is something that, and we've even talked about this on our show some. This is a team that's been together a lot longer than the North Texas Bulls. I think they kind of felt like they were going to come out and dominate the North Texas Bulls. We've been willing to understand where that kind of thought pattern comes from. However, we've said all along that just because it should be that way doesn't mean it will always be that way. And I think the North Texas Bulls have come out in this first half and said, look, if you thought you were just going to walk through us, we're here to tell you that's not the case. This is going to be a real football game, and you better get ready. If there was any doubt about whether they were going to dominate the North Texas Bulls, I think that's probably been that sort of thought pattern has been eliminated by head coach Tony Hernandez in the locker room here in the last few minutes.
For sure. If there were any thoughts of that, any delusions, that's out the window now. They are in a dogfight, and they know it. And the Bulls are big, physical. They play smart. It looks like they definitely have an advantage as far as experience, and some of that is showing. The Gunslingers are in a fight, but they are hanging in there. They're only down 4 points, and if the defense can make a couple stops here in the second half, and the offense definitely has the weapons to keep the pace going offensively, they can still come up and get a victory here in their home opener.
Lots of fans out here at the San Antonio Rose Palace for the inaugural game of the San Antonio Gunslingers. If you're not here, don't let that happen again. The San Antonio Gunslingers will be back here in the Rose Palace March 29th as they take on the Austin Wild. Get your tickets now. Go to sanantoniogunslingers.com. You can get tickets in just general seating, but why would you do that? You can get tickets along the dasher boards and be right in the action. Heck, some folks have been directly in the action tonight, as you've seen on the broadcast. You can be up close and personal. You can walk away with a souvenir if a ball heads your direction. You can be a part of all of the action. Looks like we're getting ready here for second half action as teams begin to filter their way into two different sides of the field, and referees begin looking for the next game ball that they're going to use and moving it down the field toward the tee. I think we're fixing to get a second half kickoff here in just a minute, Leo.
Yep, looks that way. We're going to find out what the Bulls are bringing on offense right away here and what the Gunslingers defense is going to do to stop them, because they need to get a stop.
For sure. I've often said the most important, in 11-man football, the most important two possessions of the game are the possessions by each team coming out of the locker room at halftime in the third quarter. I don't know if that translates over. Things move so fast, but I can tell you that a 2-possession lead for the Bulls would make them feel a lot better about their control on this game.
Absolutely.
Gunslingers set to kick off. Referee's ready to place the ball on the tee as we move into the second half of San Antonio Gunslingers and the North Texas. Let's see how this game plays out. Maybe.
The fans are certainly having a good time out there. I'm seeing some of those souvenir balls being thrown around out in the stands.
For sure. We've got a big, rather large empty space over here on one side of the field where lots of kids have gathered and they're playing football. That's not something you see normally in pro football. I love it, though. You certainly see high school games. There's always a group of kids that are playing football out underneath the bleachers. Sort of same feeling here, and that's kind of neat. They're excited about football, and they want to play and look just like these guys that they're watching play. As the ball gets teed up and Jonathan Taylor gets set to kick off as we get started here on the second half of this inaugural game between the North Texas Bulls and the San Antonio Gunslingers. Ball's kicked. Davis Holland finding some room to run, trying to reverse field, and he's swallowed up all the way down, makes it all the way down to the 15-yard line. Nice short field for the North Texas Bulls, trying to take that 2-possession lead here in the third quarter.
Right, I'm sure the Gunslingers were hoping to limit their return to open this second half, but they got a good return. The Bulls did, so we'll see what they do with this short field.
First and 10 on the 16-yard line. And let's see what kind of adjustments were made coming out of the locker room. We've seen what each team is capable of, and each team has seen what each other is capable of. Now we get to see what kind of adjustments they can make on each other. Robert Kent takes the snap, hands off immediately to his fullback, who is swallowed up and tackled, maybe gained a yard. Meshach Williams, big guy, big fullback, just not able to move through that fairly stout defensive line of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Yeah, he's big, but he ran into 3 defensive players for the Gunslingers. A couple of those guys are big themselves.
He gets a yard, 2nd and 9 on the 15-yard line. Robert Kent once again under center. Meshach Williams right behind him. Receiver in motion, a bobbled snap. Throws out the ball pretty quickly and is able to gain some positive yards on a play. Once again, that's Tavis Holland. On a play that was all kinds of messed up from the very start. A bobbled snap and then just a quick throw out to Holland. He's able to get all the way down to the 1-yard line, however, and gives them a 1st and goal on the 1.
It wasn't pretty, but it was effective for the Bulls. They'll take it.
Ball snapped. Incomplete pass, 2nd down and goal.
The coverage was good there.
Yeah,
Kent led his receiver just a little bit. The ball kind of just floated, and the defensive back was there and just was able to push him into the dasher board. He didn't make the catch.
Everybody kind of doing their job there. Wide receiver able to create just a little bit of space. Jonathan Kent throwing the ball where only his receiver would be the one to come down with it if anybody did. And then defense that's a defensive back that's able to cause enough of an issue to break up the play. Just everybody kind of doing their job right there. Robert Kent under center, sends his receiver in motion, drops back to pass, throwing deep, incomplete, looking at a 3rd and goal situation from the 1.
Yeah, led his receiver there. I thought maybe The receiver had a good chance at it, but he just couldn't quite get to it.
Penalty on the play, holding on the defense. That is going to be half the distance to the goal, and I believe that's going to give them an automatic first down.
Really costly penalty there. I don't think Coach Tony's very happy about that. He's on the sideline over there shaking his head.
No, you had them backed up, not backed up necessarily, but you had them down to 2 plays. Holding against the defense. They have moved the half yard that is that penalty, but I believe that resets the downs at first and goal there from the half-yard line. Running back, Meshach Williams trying to get through the line and cannot do it.
He's trying to get some push, and it just wasn't there. The defense met him head on.
Interior running game not working for the North Texas Bulls, and I do not blame them for calling that play. You're that close to the goal line. You've got a big guy like Meshach Williams. Why wouldn't you try that? But it just did not work, and you're going to have second and goal now from the half-yard line. Meshach Williams lining up on the other side. Let's see if they try something like that again. Kent takes the snap, drops back, tosses to Meshach Williams, who makes the catch and scores the touchdown. North Texas Bulls take that all-important double possession, 2-possession lead.
Yeah, Meshach ran out in the flat, and there wasn't anybody there to meet him. Somebody got over there, but just a little bit too late. I think it might have been Pierre Turner.
40-30, the North Texas Bulls. They will go for 2, trying to make a 12-point lead out of this opportunity. And giving the Gunslingers a bit of a hill to climb to get back into this thing.
Yep. Pressure will definitely be on them to score on their next possession and keep it back down to a 1-possession game.
Vernon Sharp Jr., quarterback they've been bringing in during these 2-point conversion plays, will take the snap in the shotgun. He's going to run right up the middle, and he is going to get it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to get in. That's going to make the score 42-30. North Texas Bulls over the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Yeah, he's shifty. He made just enough of a move to avoid the defense and kind of sneak in there. Good move.
Nice the way that play was designed, where ultimately all of his blockers blew out and just kind of parted the entire Gunslingers defense just long enough for him to squeak his way through. Not anything tricky, not anything odd. Just push everybody to the outside as much as you can and give him enough of a lane to run right up the middle and see the end zone. And he almost didn't make it, but he does end up scoring the touchdown and taking that all-important 2-possession lead here in the third quarter, 42-30. As the North Texas Bulls now set up for the kick, and the Gunslingers attempt to answer with their first possession here in the third quarter, here in the second half.
Well, the Gunslingers came out, and their defense didn't have the first drive result that they were hoping for. But the offense gets their chance now to come out and make a statement. Let's see if they can do it.
Really costly holding penalty that,
Yes.
you never know what would have happened with those other 2 plays, but that just makes things rough. Ben Hill kicking the ball high and deep, and it bangs off of the roof. I believe that's going to warrant a re-kick based on the rules. Let's see how the officials are willing to handle this. They're just going to place the ball there on the 25-yard line?
I think it's a dead ball where the ball goes out of play, and it goes out of play when it hits the beam of the roof there.
Gotcha.
So to this point, kickers have been keeping the ball low to avoid that type of situation. But
Ben Hill gets that ball a little high,
Yeah, I guess-
and the roof is kind of low here in the San Antonio Rose Palace. It would not be hard for a kicker. I couldn't do it, but it wouldn't be hard for a kicker to bang the ball into the roof. David Olvera takes his first snap of the third quarter, sends his receiver in motion. Ball snapped. Olvera drops back, throws the ball, and it is intercepted immediately.
yeah,
Jimmy Keys. Jimmy Keys, who last time we saw was a little injured walking off the field. I think he's better.
looks to be. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that, about the decision making under pressure. Not that he was.
Double covered
But he
receiver
threw it
down the
into double
sideline.
coverage, exactly.
It's a throw that you probably, as soon as you let go, want back. I'm sure David is not happy with, certainly not happy with the result, but as soon as it left his fingertips, I'm sure he saw the possibilities of what was going to happen. That sets up the North Texas Bulls with a 1st and 10 on their own 10-yard line after the touchback in the end zone.
Now the pressure's really on the defense. They need to get a stop this drive.
For sure. Robert Kent Jr. dropping back to pass. Wow. Number 44, Ben Kane, able to pressure Kent. Kent never saw it coming. He acts like he's asking for a flag, but that was just simply blindside pressure that you don't see coming. I know it feels violating, but there's nothing violating about it. Ben Kane, gets in there and is able to disrupt the throwing motion and set up a 2nd down and 10 from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Kanan came after him, and he had the pressure on him immediately. And I know he made some contact there with Kent. Kent thinking there must have been some sort of penalty there because he was probably very uncomfortable. Made a bad throw, and actually was lucky that wasn't turned over because there was an opportunity there for the defense to maybe intercept that ball.
Robert Kent Jr. still having conversation with the referee about that play instead of getting his next play in and off. Seen a lot of this, and I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah, he seems very chatty with the refs.
Lots of lobbying by North Texas to the officials. I want to make sure the officials know how to play the game, and I think they do.
You would think. Now he's getting the play in.
Wonder if that's just a play for time a little bit, let your guys get a little rest. I'm going to go talk to the ref.
Wiley veteran move, could be.
Hey, the guy's played for 17 years. He knows the tricks. Kent under center. Meshach Williams right up beside him. Receiver in motion. He drops back, already seeing some pressure. Has to throw the ball up, but he completes the pass all the way down the field, all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Perfectly placed pass, Phillip.
Just a beautiful pass. Well done.
The coverage was there. Again, that was the receiver that has the motion, so he has the advantage. Kent knew exactly where to go with the ball, and he put it exactly where it needed to be, and they get the big gain.
More impressive is he had to rainbow that ball a little bit because pressure was right in his face and hands were up. And even doing that, he's able to keep it away from the roof. He's able to complete the pass and set up a 1st and goal down at the 5-yard line. Kent under center. Drops back to pass. Throws his pass, but it's incomplete. A little bit of miscommunication between Kent and his receiver. Receiver thought he had an extra step before he needed to turn. Instead, and Kent is again having conversation with the officials.
Well, I think I know what he's upset about this time. It looked like the Gunslingers might have jumped.
Okay.
But maybe didn't jump far enough offsides or the ref missed it. But I think if Kent saw what I saw, I think he's got a legitimate argument.
Fair enough. Hey, you know, he may have played this game a little longer than some of these refs have been reffing. He might know a little more than they do about some of this. Kent under center. sends a receiver in motion, tosses the ball, and that's going nowhere? Question mark?
We thought it was going nowhere. Then it looked like it might go somewhere, but thankfully for the Gunslingers, they had guys coming to cover.
It's a rough play when you break 3 tackles and still lose 5 yards.
Yes.
And that's what just happened for the North Texas Bulls. Great for the San Antonio Gunslingers, but to lose 6 yards on a play where you break 3 tackles, that's not what you expect to see. That is going to set up 3rd and goal from the 11.
Big couple of plays coming here for the Gunslingers defense.
Absolutely. They need to hold this this Bulls team out of the end zone and keep this lead where it's at for now. Ball snapped. Kent back to pass. He throws deep into the end zone, and it is too far. That is 4th down and goal from the 11. And San Antonio might just eke out of this situation and still keep this game. Not that 3 possessions is not manageable, but you sure don't want to try it.
Tall order. Kent had to kind of sail that one. I think he intentionally overthrew it.
Smart veteran play. He had another play.
He had another play. But he definitely had some pressure coming, and the Gunslingers seem to be getting more pressure on him than they did in the first half, and they desperately need to continue doing that.
Yeah, pressure is always good in this league. Make them make a decision quickly. Always the play. Kent lined up under center, takes the snap. Little bit of pressure. Ball floats to the ground. The San Antonio Gunslingers defense able to hold the Bulls out of the end zone, turn the ball over on downs. That will make it a 1st and 10 for the Gunslingers. They're on the 11-yard line.
Big time stop, Philip, big time. And I attribute that directly to the pressure they were able to get on Kent in this series. So
42-30, the North Texas Bulls leading the San Antonio Gunslingers here in the 3rd quarter. The turnover on downs keeps that lead to 12, and the San Antonio Gunslingers are in the huddle with a 1st and 10 there on the 11-yard line and hoping to score and bring this into a manageable sort of game again. Olvera back in the shotgun. Chris Bustamante right off to his left. Olvera takes the snap, looks deep, got, who is it? Who is it, Leo?
none other than Khalil Rashad. There's the somersaults again. He almost didn't land that one. He might want to rethink his touchdown celebration because that could have ended badly.
40-yard touchdown pass for Khalil Rashad, and that means the Gunslingers have cut the lead from 12 down to 6 with a extra point, or the point after, still pending. This will be a 2-point conversion attempt.
Great job by Olvera there, though, taking a page right out of Kent's book, going to the guy in motion, throwing the ball perfectly over the defense, right where it needed to be, where Khalil Rashad could catch the ball and just go in for the touchdown.
Well-thrown ball, well-run wrap by Khalil Rashad. Shows you what this offense is capable of doing when everything works their direction. David Olvera in kind of a pistol. Chris Bustamante behind him. The handoff will go to Bustamante, who gets dragged down and will not end up converting the 2-point conversion. So the North Texas Bulls will hold on to a 6-point lead, 42-36 here in the third quarter. But the Gunslingers did exactly what they needed to do. They got a stop. They scored a touchdown. They cut the lead in half. Right, Leo?
Yep, that's exactly what they needed to do, and they're going to have to do it again. They need to get another stop so that they can be in the driver's seat and start scoring to take leads rather than to cut them.
One of the things that's going to help them, I don't know how you feel about this, but this is my little color analysis for the day, is getting the kick downfield. not giving a short field
Yes.
gives your defense lots more to work with and lots more opportunity to get a stop. I'd like to see Jonathan Taylor, or whoever kicks off this ball, it's been Jonathan Taylor through this game up to this point, I'd like to see him just put it on a line drive all the way down the field into their end zone.
Absolutely agree.
And set them up with a long field to play.
We don't get stats here in the booth during the broadcast, but I bet if we got stats, the average starting field position for the Bulls would be absolutely phenomenal if you're a Bulls fan.
It would be the wrong side of the midfield.
Absolutely.
And Jonathan Taylor is listening to the broadcast, I guess, because he does exactly that. And an incredible tackle by Chris Bustamante, grabbing the leg of Tavis Holland and holding him right where he was, making that shoestring tackle and keeping the ball on the 18-yard line. That's sort of what I was talking about. Now,
Right.
I don't know that I would kick right to Tavis Holland.
Right.
I mean, I want you to kick deep, but I don't know that I want you to kick it directly to Tavis Holland. Now, Tavis Holland dropped that ball. He did not field it cleanly, so that helped a little bit. And then, of course, just a spectacular tackle by Chris Bustamante, who's able to get the ankle of Holland and drag him down. Kent up under center like he likes to be. Meshach Williams next to him. Pass out already, a quick pass. And they are going to get a first down. It looks like out of the play. The receiver on that play is... Can you beat me to it? I bet you can.
Did not see it.
Okay.
Did not see the number.
I believe it was Chris Franklin, number 8, for the North Texas Bulls. They get a first down. It is first down and 10 from the 22-yard line, 21-yard line. Kent takes the snap, drops back to pass. Going down the field.
I believe he was out of bounds.
I'm looking for an official because I was watching it fairly closely and it looked like he tapped feet down to me, but I'm not sure what the officials are going to call.
Looks like there's still discussion there.
Still waiting on a call. I see an incomplete pass from a guy in a striped shirt. An incomplete pass signal from a guy in a striped shirt. And the ball is coming back to the original line of scrimmage. I think they're going to call it an incomplete pass. It looked like he tapped 2 feet down just before he went out of bounds. But that's not the way the officials saw it. We're going to have a second down attempt.
Great ball by Kent yet again.
We have a penalty on the play. They are marching off a penalty against the North Texas Bulls, a holding penalty, we are now told by the referee crew.
So whether he caught the ball or not would be irrelevant.
That's correct. So we're going to have first down? First and 20 from the 19-yard line? I think I have that right.
Yeah, I think so. Another stop in action before the action started. Not sure what the whistle was about.
Looks like referee and linesman are discussing some dinner plans. Now they got to go around and get everybody's order. It's a thing. I mean, it's a thing. All right, first and 20 from the 19-yard line.
Kent going out wide, talking to 2 of his receivers. Taking his time to get under center.
Certainly got in the ear of Holland. I don't know if he's seeing something out on the outer edge and he wants to try to exploit. Kent faking that ball, looking deep. Another long pass into the end zone, and we're still waiting on
some sort of signal.
Some sort of signal.
Looked like the defensive back got his hand in there where
We've got a touchdown.
Nope. He did not.
We've
was
got a
not able to knock
touchdown
it
from the
away.
North Texas Bulls.
He ball faked.
He
and
did.
The receiver just ran a fly route, ball fake to the side, and then hit his receiver in the end zone. The defensive back was there. I would say it was well played defense. He got his hand in there in the ball, but just couldn't knock it out.
He went and talked with Holland, and I guess he mentioned something on his way through to Chris Franklin, and Holland was kind of a decoy on that, stopped and reached for the pass. A little bit of a pump fake from Kent. Again, a veteran guy, and he is able to exploit a defense that kind of jumped on that fake and throw a nice long ball. And now they're going to lining up for two. 48-36, North Texas Bulls. Sharp.
Nothing happened there.
Not going to get anywhere with that. I'm not sure he got a yard any direction. I mean, forward, backward, side to side. He kind of got tackled right where he took the snap there. So that'll keep that score at 48-36.
12-point lead for the Bulls. Gunslingers need to make something happen on offense this possession.
Third quarter, 48-36. North Texas Bulls leading the San Antonio Gunslingers. Let's go ahead and take a break here. We'll be right back with Gunslingers football right after this. San Antonio Gunslingers game day football. The North Texas Bulls have a 48-36 lead on the Gunslingers here in the third quarter as we get ready for the kickoff. Kicks in the air. Received by a couple of different Gunslingers. Making it all the way down to the 25-yard line midfield. And that's where they'll set up to cut this lead down yet again.
Yeah, that was Williams with a nice return. Able to get some good yardage there.
First and 10 from the 25-yard line. San Antonio Gunslingers have been scoring fast when they've been scoring well. First and second plays on some of these drives that they are finding the end zone. Let's see if they can do that again. David Olvera. Way back in the shotgun. Chris Bustamante much closer to the line this time, providing some extra protection. Olvera looking around, throws the pass off the fingertips of his receivers and incomplete. Second down.
Pass just a little high, also just a little late. But he did place it only where his receiver could get the ball. So
again, Olvera feeling the pressure there, kind of running around for his life. Looks like we got a timeout from the North Texas Bulls. So we're going to run a couple of our reads here. We'll be right back. San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day is brought to you by G-Force Parking and Striping. Owned and operated by Travis Martin, G-Force San Antonio can handle all of your pavement marking needs. They provide high-end parking lot striping and parking lot marking services in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. G-Force is the #1 parking lot striping and pavement marking business in San Antonio. If you're ready to see results, get in touch with their team today by calling 210-710-1016. Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Admiral Security. Admiral is San Antonio's premier authorized ADT dealer, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands and protecting what matters most all across San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Admiral has a special offer for all you Gunslingers fans. Give them a call today for more information. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by Moonlight Ballroom. Moonlight Ballroom is San Antonio's #1 event venue and party destination. Moonlight Ballroom is all-inclusive and offers any and all services for your event needs with party packages available. Weddings, quinceañeras, holiday parties, and more, you name it, they offer it. Give them a call today at 210-549-4180. Make sure to mention the San Antonio Gunslingers for a promotional discount. Back here at the San Antonio Rose Palace, 48-36 here in the third quarter. The North Texas Bulls have the lead, but the Gunslingers have the ball. Have we switched sides? We're in the fourth quarter, aren't we?
Yeah, they've flipped the field, so.
There you go. Quarter 4. Time running out on the Gunslingers to get back ahead in this game. David Olvera takes the snap on 2nd down and 10. Throws the ball out, and it is intercepted. No one touched him, so he is able to return the ball, and he returns it all the way into the end zone, taunting the coach on the way, rubbing the ball in the coach's face, and I think that garnered a flag for taunting. Let's see if the points will stand. North Texas Bulls again lobbying with the referees, wanting to plead their case.
Let's see what the refs say. I'm not sure where the ball was going on that play. There was nothing but red jerseys around. I don't know if that was a
They're
blow.
waving off the flag.
Waving
No
off the
flag on the
flag.
play.
I don't know if that was a miscommunication and a route not run correctly, but there were no blue jerseys around that ball.
No,
where it
there
was
were not.
thrown.
Officials have signaled a touchdown. They're moving down the field for the point after attempt on the North Texas Bulls, or for the North Texas Bulls. I gotta call a spade a spade. Poor sportsmanship from that particular player in that particular. I know you're excited. I know you're excited that you've pulled in an interception and that you've got an open run to the end zone to shake the ball in the opposing head coach's face like that. Just not real good sportsmanship.
No, not at all. I'm surprised the flag was picked up.
54-36. The North Texas Bulls will attempt their 2-point conversion. Vernon Sharp in his shotgun position throws the ball out wide open, and that's going to be 2 more points. A 20-point lead for the North Texas Bulls, 56-36.
Yeah, the
Here in the
dreaded,
fourth quarter.
just what we dreaded, the 3-possession game is now glaring the Gunslingers in the face, and they're going to have to really respond and start responding now if they want to try and get a win in their first home game.
Absolutely. You're going to have to get stops on defense. You're going to have to get points on offense, and you're going to have to do it for the rest of the quarter to end up pulling even in this game.
Right, and we're going to have to stop turning the ball over.
For sure. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back with San Antonio Gunslingers football here in just a few moments. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Sorry, we're going to keep it here. My fault. Wrong button. First game? First game for everybody.
Including the board.
Including the board. Ben Hill lines up for the kick. And the San Antonio Gunslingers need to find some magic.
Oh, hit the cross beam again.
Another high kick. Another hit. And we'll see where the ball gets placed as the San Antonio Gunslingers will attempt to dig out of this hole a little bit.
That's going to take some work.
Ball set at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. 25-yard line.
Looks like the Gunslingers are making a change at quarterback. I see Nate Mace coming into the huddle. I do not see Oliveira yet.
We've mentioned already quite a battle all the way through these last few weeks, really since the beginning of the year when Nate Mace came into the Gunslingers organization. He and David have been neck and neck. Nate Mace is going to take some snaps here and see if he can generate some excitement. Nate Mace takes the first snap and runs right up the field, and he gains a yard?
Maybe a yard.
Question mark?
There was an opening there. I saw it. I saw what he saw. It was there, and then it wasn't.
Closed down very quickly, and it won't even be a yard. He makes it back to the line of scrimmage. It will be 2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Nate Mace placing everybody in place. That rhymed. Moves back into shotgun position. Sends his receiver, Chris Bustamante, his running back really, into. Takes the pass. And completes the pass to Chris Bustamante. Garnering the 1st down, moving down the field. I'm not sure he was throwing to Chris Bustamante. I think that was actually a pass meant for someone else that glanced around and wound up in Bustamante's hands. No matter what, it means 1st down and 10.
It's 1st down yardage. We'll take it.
From the 13-yard line, as Nate Mace is generating a little bit of offense for the San Antonio Gunslingers right now. Bustamante in motion. Mace takes the snap, looks, makes his decision. His decision is just to get that ball out of play.
Yep, whatever he was looking for, it wasn't there. I think he just threw it out of bounds.
2nd down and 10 from the 13-yard line. Mace has watched David Olvera have to run for his life a little bit tonight, and as he was back there in the pocket, he looked like he had a little bit of happy feet. Wasn't sure if he wanted to stay or go.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Nate Mace. Chris Bustamante next to him in the shotgun. Sends Johnson into motion. Throws the pass out to Bustamante. Bustamante is put into the wall. Gains a few yards. See where they spot the ball.
See where they spot that.
Gonna get spotted right at the 11-yard line, it looks like.
Well, as long as they keep getting plays with positive yardage and moving down the field.
10-yard line. Setting up a 3rd and 7, I believe. Nate Mace in the shotgun. Chris Bustamante behind him. He goes into motion. Mace takes the leads Bustamante just a little bit too much in the end zone. 4th down and 7 from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I think Mace thought Bustamante's arms were a little bit longer than they are. Let him just a little bit too much. We'll see what he does on this 4th down.
Important 4th down and 7 here.
He definitely likes going to Bustamante.
Nate Mace and Chris Bustamante work out together outside of practice.
Yep.
They know each other well. They have a relationship together. Nate is going to trust Chris if he's not sure where to go. Mace takes a snap. Looking deep. Escapes. Got some room. He's going to run all the way in to the end zone and score his first touchdown as a San Antonio Gunslinger quarterback. Nate Mace. Oh, we've got a flag on the field.
There's a flag on the field. It seemed like it was thrown in some sort of interaction between Caleb Roller and a coach from the Bulls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would be after the play then?
Yes. Nate Mace, though, that's something that he brings to this offense with his escapability and mobility. He can definitely use those wheels.
Yeah, he is, and not saying that David Oliveira does not have some ability to move around, but Nate Mace is certainly the quicker, the more spry of the two.
Yes.
We have a touchdown, and Nate Mace will attempt to go for 2 points here as he lines up in the shotgun, looks over at Chris Bustamante, giving him a signal of what he'd like to see, finds his area behind the center, calls for the snap, and then throws a little bit of a jump pass, and it gets knocked down, intercepted. It does not get 2 points. We'll just say it that way.
Shades of Tim Tebow there, but without the result that Tebow normally got.
We have said that David made some questionable calls a couple of times. That was, that David didn't know what he wanted to do with the ball a couple of times. That looked very much to me like Dave was in the same situation where there was an opportunity to run and an opportunity to pass, and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, and it turned into this interesting little jump pass. I'm going to take care of a couple of another one of our reads here as we head through this 4th quarter. Stick with us. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole-body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. Getting ready for the kickoff here. Jonathan Taylor getting set to kick the ball down to the North Texas Bulls, and he does just that. A little bit of a bounce, and the return is on its way. 21-yard line. That's where the Bulls will set up. 56-42. Bulls leading the Gunslingers here in the 4th quarter. And this is where the Gunslingers need to force some sort of turnover or just get a turnover on downs, although that may even take too long. you have certainly seen the quarterback experience differential mean the difference in this game.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely a tale of two different quarterback situations for the teams, where the Gunslingers have a couple of young guys that are just starting out, and the Bulls have the advantage of the wily veteran that knows what to do in just about every situation. Speaking of, I find it interesting, Nate Mace being out there as the quarterback in the last possession, yet the Gunslingers chose to still have him on the coverage team on special teams.
We got a timeout on the field, so let's take a quick break. Nope, we're going to keep it right here as the teams begin to make their way back to the line. We will keep it right here. 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Flags on the play.
False start.
False start, it looks like, which is actually a really good thing for the North Texas Bulls, because that snap was dropped and was down on the ground. It's actually better for them to lose the 5 yards here, move back to the 17-yard line, than maybe lose the ball.
Gunslingers kick.
For sure. 1st down and 15, 18-yard line. Gunslingers looking for a hold, wanting to give the ball back to Nate Mace with some time to try to put a dent in this Bulls lead. Kent down the field.
The Bulls.
Bulls coaches are right up here next to us and feel like that was obviously pass interference. The referees do not feel the same way as Tavis Holland is defended? Question mark. And is not able to come up with a pass. 2nd down and 15.
It was an incomplete pass, and
Right. From the 17-yard line.
We'll move on to the next play.
Get back to pass, and he has gone down in a sea of blue jerseys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 4 of them, and there's only 8 guys on the field.
There's the pressure the Gunslingers needed. Yeah, you have Cody Brooks in there. You have Ben Kane in there. I'm not sure who the third one was, but they got the pressure that they needed on Kent.
Looks like a loss of 5 yards, which means we're going to be looking at 3rd down and 20 from the 13-yard line. And that is the direction you need to be pushing them if you're the San Antonio Gunslingers here in the 4th quarter of this game.
Absolutely right. Make it harder and harder for them to convert and hopefully get that ball back on a turnover on downs.
They're down at 20. Ball is snapped and is incomplete? Question mark?
As you said earlier, we have some of the coaches up here with us on a balcony, and it's hard to see past them on action on this side of the field. And
they don't mean to be blocking us. They're doing their job.
Right.
And we understand that, but we are kind of looking around their shoulders, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I believe that was an incomplete pass.
I think so, too.
Our producer in the booth will throw up a 4th and 20 and tell me, yes, that was an incomplete pass. And we are at 4th and 20 on the 13-yard line. Big, big play for the San Antonio Gunslingers defense. And for the North Texas Bulls, they can kind of put the game away here. False
and there's a whistle.
Start. Moving
That's
back,
right.
yes, again, 4th and 25. What we're probably going to be looking at here based on when that whistle came. They are stepping off a penalty now. All the way back to the 8-yard line. 4th and most of the field for the North Texas Bulls.
That's what it amounts to. You're right.
They've got to get all the way down to the 18-yard line of the San Antonio Gunslingers to convert. Snap is away.
Uh-oh.
Ball is away.
Uh-oh.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Javon Thomas gets his hands on the ball, knocks it up in the air, and that doesn't matter because Chris Franklin is able to corral the pass, and because
Off of the deflection.
because of Thomas's play on the ball, he's nowhere near making the play. There's nobody around Chris Franklin, and he dives actually, into the end zone, scoring 6 points, pushing the score to 62-42 here in the fourth quarter as the Bulls continue to maintain just a big lead on the San Antonio Gunslingers.
The defense did their job except for on that one play, and that one play is all it took, as is often the case in arena football.
For sure. Vernon Sharp getting set up for his 2-point conversions that he's become kind of the go-to guy for. Sends his receiver in motion, drops back to pass, looking, finds a receiver, 2 points, 64-42. North Texas Bulls have the lead. We are going to finish up one more read here as we move our way through the fourth quarter. We'll be right back here on Gunslingers Game Day. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Alamo Brewery. Alamo Brewery is San Antonio's premium production brewery. Alamo makes numerous styles of beers that are brewed specifically for our San Antonio beer palates. Look for all these beers in your neighborhood grocery store and at your favorite restaurants and bars. Alamo Brewery proudly supports the Gunslingers. Look for Gunslinger-specific labels on some Alamo Amber cans and Alamo Listo Light cans when it's time to buy your next beer. San Antonio Rose Palace, Philip Higginbotham, Leo Yamas, Jonas Clark working hard up in the production booth, making sure that everything you see is exactly what you want to see. He's doing a great job. We're doing an okay job. The San Antonio Gunslingers are not having the night that they wanted to have to open up this season here at home. They're down 22 points here in the fourth quarter. It is what it is. It's football, and sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose. And right now it looks like this is insurmountable. It's going to be a magical comeback if the San Antonio Gunslingers can somehow affect some sort of comeback. Short kick across the field, and the North Texas Bulls come up with possession of it, and they retain possession of it. The kick glanced off a Gunslingers player, making the ball live and allowing the North Texas Bulls, once again, Tavis Holland makes the play, comes up with possession of the ball, and the North Texas Bulls will retain possession with a 22-point lead.
We were told to look out for Tavis Holland this game.
We were.
And that's exactly, it's been the Tavis Holland show.
He's a rookie kid. He's got a high motor. He is, he might be a player that moves on to other opportunities at the end of this season. He may not be in the American Arena League forever. Size, a little small, but lots of talent there. We have a quarterback change. Sharp taking snaps and getting sacked by the Gunslingers defense. Good to see Cody Brooks and the Gunslingers defense not ready to give up on this thing yet. Getting back there and making Sharp uncomfortable and ultimately taking down Vernon Sharp to set up a second down and more yardage than 10. Let's call it 12, 13.
Right.
Maybe more.
Yeah, the defensive pressure was there like as soon as he got the snap, so not much he could do on his first play from scrimmage in this game as a quarterback outside of a 2-point conversion.
Vernon Sharp in his shotgun. He prefers that. Drops back, flings the ball down the field. Kerryon Taylor, if he'd have turned around in time, would have had a catch for a first down, plenty of yardage. He had no idea the ball was coming to him.
Yeah, he turned around just a little too late, just not on the same page as his quarterback, which sometimes is to be expected when there's a quarterback change.
For sure. Third down. need to get to the 23-yard line. And they are back on the 7. Sharp sacked again. 4th down. And even more yardage. That was a 3rd and 15 play. This will almost be a 4th and 20. Somewhere right around that area. But we know what happened on a 4th down play just moments ago for the Gunslingers. For the Bulls, really.
For the Bulls. Now let's see if the Gunslingers can change their luck a little bit on this play. Because they actually, in that one, defended it well, and Bulls got lucky.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Vernon Sharp puts his receiver in motion, takes the snap, drops back, surveys the field, tosses it up, and it's incomplete. Little arm fighting. A
Yeah,
little bit of contact both ways.
I think that's a good no call. That's a good no call at this juncture.
I love it. I'm happy with it. I'd be happy with it in any juncture. Both players making a play on the ball. Neither one had a better position than the other.
The receiver actually did a good job getting himself in position to actually be able to possibly make that catch.
He almost turned into a defender there.
Yeah. Now let's see what the Gunslingers can do with a very short field. Kind of put a dent in this lead.
Nate Mays still in at quarterback. Chris Bustamante next to him. Timeout on the field. Timeout charge to the North Texas Bulls. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this with Gunslinger Football. San Antonio Gunslingers Football is brought to you by Prince Automobiles. Prince Automobiles, conveniently located at 6355 Montgomery Drive in San Antonio, is your full-service independent automobile dealership that sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. They have financing and warranties available. Call them at 210-850-7125 to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online right now at princeautomobiles.com. 1st and 10 for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Short field. Lining up at the 6 or 7 yard line, moving in, trying to cut this lead for the North Texas Bulls. Nate Maves back to pass, finding some traffic around him, a little bit of a jump pass, gets it to a receiver, bounces off the hands. I'm seeing a receiver calling for a flag. That usually doesn't happen.
It's not, yeah.
You
that
usually
never
don't
happens,
get it.
And he's not getting it, yeah.
64-42, fourth quarter. San Antonio Gunslingers trying to cut this lead down a little bit. Desperation time.
Got another timeout.
I'm not sure. So Leo, with David Oliveira getting a chance to play there through the first 3 quarters or so, and in the fourth quarter seeing Nate Mace, does it change your thought on who should be starting at quarterback at all?
You know, at this point, I'm not really sure. It really doesn't. I know that Oliveira had some ill-advised throws and some costly interceptions that resulted in turnovers. We haven't seen enough from Nate at this point to really make a judgment, or at least I haven't.
Sure.
We knew coming into this that we had two young guys, two inexperienced quarterbacks, and I think the inexperience is showing. So the Gunslingers have some work to do. I definitely think that they're going to work on that and be better prepared the next time around. But I don't know if a change is going to be permanently made yet.
Nate Mace, again, under duress, looking for something to do. Gets all the way down to the 1 yard line or so. I'm not sure he got in. That previous stoppage in play, by the way, was, I'm hearing it may have been a 1 minute warning. The game is coming to an end. Quick lineup for the San Antonio Gunslingers there on the 1 yard line, trying to punch this in, cut this lead down a little bit. Nate Mace drops back to pass, finds Khalil Rashad in the end zone, scores touchdown, 6 more points on the board for the San Antonio Gunslingers, 48-64. The Gunslingers will go for 2 and try to cut that down a little further.
Another touchdown for Khalil Rashad.
Khalil Rashad has had a heck of a game. I realize this isn't going to end the way the guys in blue want it to. That's probably beyond them, but we have seen some things tonight from players. We know where, we may not know where the quarterback position lies, but we know Khalil Rashad is going to have a heck of a game tonight, and it's going to be a heck of a force throughout the season. First game jitters just seems to have gotten him. Nate Mace back to run this 2-point conversion, takes the snap, looking, tossing into the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Yep, tried to throw it high for his receiver, but the coverage was there, knocked the ball down.
Tough with a receiver standing stock still in the end zone with a defender standing stock still in front of them to get that ball over the defender and still complete the pass. Didn't have a lot of other choices, but that's the choice he made. 64-48. North Texas Bulls over the San Antonio Gunslingers. The Gunslingers will kick off here in just, we have a penalty, giving them another opportunity. A holding penalty against the North Texas Bulls is going to give the Gunslingers another shot at this 2-point conversion. Nate Mace takes the snap, and that's going to be incomplete as well, or fumbled out of bounds, or something along that line, as he was dealing with entirely too much pressure to be able to make that play. 64-14, fourth quarter.
Yeah, the defense was there immediately. He had literally nowhere to go.
Time winding down here on the game. It'll go down in the books as the wrong side of the W and L column, but all of the work, all of the effort that has gone into the game, from the ownership to the team and all the way down, has just been spectacular. This has been a lot of work over the last 15 months, over the last 15 days, even more so. It goes down as a loss, and there's no such thing as a
good loss.
As a good loss, but the fact that the team gets on the field tonight, completes a football game.
It's a successful night.
For sure. There will be other nights. There will be wins in the Gunslingers' future, and not very far in the future. Jonathan Taylor kicking off down to the North Texas Bulls, returning the ball.
He managed to avoid the tackle there.
He did. Really impressive. 64-48. Gunslingers on defense.
Yeah, despite not getting the win tonight, of course, you're gonna come away with a bad taste in your mouth from the loss. Nobody likes to lose, but all the work that has gone into getting to this point by many, many different people, many people collaborating, working together to finally get to this moment, this opening night for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Definitely a successful night. We had fans in the stands, people having fun. I heard from people who said they had a great time. Didn't get the W.
Lots of fun tailgating, lots of fun in the stands, lots of fun just watching football. Vernon Sharp taking that snap, working his way around and avoiding the sack this time, holding onto the ball, and he's still going to get taken down after getting just a couple of yards.
Looks like we got a timeout called.
Timeout called. Well, let's do this. Let's run a couple of our reads here. Take care of our sponsors. We are so happy that they have jumped on board and are sponsoring game day coverage. Here's one of them. No,
they're coming back.
we're
They're
gonna
lining
go.
up.
We're gonna stay right here. Vernon Sharp in his shotgun stance sends the receiver on motion, throws the pass, and just misses all the way around.
Yeah, overthrew the receiver there. He really had no shot at that ball. And that's the ball game.
That's going to be the ball game. San Antonio Gunslingers drop their season opener 64-48 to the North Texas Bulls. We're going to take a break right here, get some of our sponsors taken care of, and when we come back, we'll have the post-game show for you here on Gunslingers Game Day. Stick with us. (64-48) is your final here at San Antonio Rose Palace. The North Texas Bulls victorious over the San Antonio Gunslingers in the opening game. They will go, the North Texas Bulls will go to 1-0. San Antonio Gunslingers fall to 0-1. And as we watch the players, the San Antonio Gunslingers specifically walk off the field, not the night they wanted to have.
Nope, you can see it as they're walking off. It's not the end result that they desired. It's definitely a tough loss to take. You know, they had high expectations for their first home opener, and now they're looking at, like we talked about earlier, having to hit the road and go play the Raiders in Mississippi for their home opener, and it's going to be a daunting task to go over there and hope get a win, not end up 0-2, come away with 1-1.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is next Saturday night in Mississippi, we want to have a 1-1 record, not an 0-2 record, as the North Texas Bulls gather together on the field around the logo. You're just hoping to see something. Classy from the team. Looks like they're gathered together in a moment to just talk and this is a normal thing for teams to do. I don't usually see it happen right on the logo. Usually it's off to the side.
Looks like they're praying, and some of the Gunslingers are joining them. So
That's great.
definitely, it's great. Yeah,
Nate Mason there. Good to see the North Texas Bulls, taking victory. They're excited. Some of them dancing around there, and they should be. They start their season at 1-0, and that's what you want to do. Each week you want to be 1-0, and they are this week.
right. Especially on the road, having to make the trip down here. They weren't, they didn't know, weren't sure what they were gonna come across here in San Antonio. But they came out here, and despite all of that, they're walking away with a win.
Rolling on with the post-game show. I'm going to spring it on you. It's everybody's first game, and I should have mentioned this before, but Gunslingers, players of the game, I would certainly say Khalil Rashad just made a big difference all over the field on offense. He's kind of the player of the game as far as the Gunslingers are concerned to me.
Yep.
On the other side of the field for the North Texas Bulls, the winning team, player of the game just with his savvy and his ability to lead his team very, very well. Number 12, Robert Kent Jr. He is a veteran. He showed you what a veteran does for you in that position. That's the kind of guy that you want leading your team.
I would agree. Tavis Holland was the playmaker.
For sure.
We called his name a lot, but the reason we called his name a lot was because Robert Kent Jr. was throwing the ball to him, getting it to him in the right situation, making all the right calls. I think he was seeing the defense, and with his experience, he knew what to expect. He was able to make adjustments, and it showed on the field.
David Olvera there on your screen. Rough night for him. Multiple interceptions. Not the night he wanted to have. He's going to come back better. He's going to come back stronger and making better decisions. He's seen another defense now, not his own defense running against him, but he's seen what other defenses may want to do against him or do to him. So
I think he saw a lot more of the defense than he was comfortable with and what he wanted to see.
Lots of pressure.
So, yeah, for sure.
For both him and Nate Mace. In that kind of situation, Nate is, we talked about his escapability a little bit, maybe a little better set up to handle the kind of pressure that he was seeing, but not a ton. I mean, Nate came in and provided a little bit of a spark, but it wasn't just like, wow, we made a big mistake by starting David Olvera. I don't think that's what we saw.
Right, yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think that's what we saw. We saw a change. There was a bit of a spark. I think they're two different kind of players, and so the Bulls saw something different for the first time and had to adjust to it, and they did. So I think this is a learning experience for both quarterbacks. It's a learning experience for the Gunslingers overall, and I think they're going to take what they can from this and be better prepared for upcoming games starting week 2.
Well, there you go. San Antonio Gunslingers, game 1 is in the books. They are going to be 0-1 as they head out to Mississippi next Saturday night on the 20th to take on the Mississippi Raiders in the Mississippi Raiders home opener, season opener. I am Philip Higginbotham for Leo Yamas, for R.C. Woods, who worked hard behind the scenes for us today, keeping us hydrated and helping us out a lot. We were hoping to have her do some sideline stuff, but we had a hard enough time just doing what we were doing today. Back in the booth, we have Jonas Clark working incredibly hard on making the stream work. We understand that there were some issues with the video. We're going to be working hard to solve those before next Saturday night so that we can present a nice, clear game for you. If you've stuck with us this far, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we're going to do everything we can to continue to get better as we move on through the Gunslinger season. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the way that you have hung out with us. The final score, 64-48, North Texas Bulls take the first game over the San Antonio Gunslingers. We appreciate all of your eyeballs and your ears. Can't wait for the next game. San Antonio Gunslingers game day football. We're out.